Houston Aeros' longest homestand of the season concludes tonight, and the results haven't been to Houston's liking. Fort Wayne scored 4 unanswered goals in the third period Wednesday night to run the Aeros record to 1-4 this month. Tonight, they try to reverse their fortunes against the streaking Komets next on Prime Sports. Live from the Summit in Houston, Texas, Prime Sports and the Houston Aeros present International Hockey League action. Tonight, the Houston Aeros take on the Fort Wayne Komets. Very pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Summit. I'm Adam Gordon. The Aeros and the Komets wrapping up a 7-game homestand for the Aeros. It has not been that good of a homestand for Houston. They could go 2-5 with a loss tonight. They are 2-4. They have scored only 16 goals while the opposition with 31. And look at the power plays. The Aeros with just 2 power play goals while the opposition has 10. I bring in my broadcast partner, Mike Greenlay. And Greener, I think a message was sent to the Aero players this morning in the Houston Chronicle when Pete Dineen spoke up.
Well, Pete Dineen did a lot of work to bring a lot of good players to this team, and basically what he's saying is, I want to stick with you because I scouted you and I want you guys here, but if you're not going to do the job for me, then you're going to have to force my hand. I'm not going to have a choice. I have to go elsewhere and get some more players.
Now, Troy Gamble's going to start in goal, and you might think this is the guy that has to step up. Yes, he does, but Greener, you think different. Maybe everybody needs to.
Well, I think everybody does, and that's what Pete Dineen is saying. He's saying everybody here has a capability of playing better. We haven't seen it yet, and he says he hasn't seen it yet, so that's what's going to have to happen.
I feel like I'm at Six Flags Astroworld. It's been such a roller coaster ride as of late. You look at the win-loss department. It started back on the 20th of October for the Aeros. Win-loss, 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 loss. Aeros would love to snap the 2-game losing skid, and they can try and do it tonight. But you look at that roller coaster ride, and Greener, I mean, that takes us right to our Oshman's game plan, and it's brought to you by Oshman Super Sports USA. There's been no consistent effort.
Well, they haven't shown consistency game to game, but they need to show it period to period. We haven't seen any of that. The Cage Cops, a.k.a. Aero goaltending, needs to be sharp like it was earlier on this season and finally finish. The Aeros have shown their ability to penetrate the zone, to dominate a play, and even outshoot their opponents, but if you can't score the goals, you're not going to be able to win the games.
It will be Troy Gamble for the Aeros in goal. Peter Ing for the Komets up next. We'll go to the clubhouse. We'll be right back. Houston Aeros Hockey on Prime Sports is being brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fly Southwest, the low-fare airline. By your participating Texas Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep and Eagle dealers. By Columbia HCA Healthcare Corporation, a new commitment to healthcare together. By Texaco Clean System 3 gasolines. Add more life to your car, take it to the star. And by the Gatorade Company. If you're living life to the fullest, you're gonna get thirsty. That's why you need Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life's a sport, drink it up. Adam Gordon with you, along with Mike Greenlay and our special guest we'll get to in a moment, Matt Thomas of the Sports Nuts. But let us jump first to the Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Fort Wayne Komets. At center, Rob Murphy. Right wing, Konstantin Shafranov. And at left wing, Andrew McBain. On defense, Guy Dupuis and Sean Evans. In goal, it is Peter Ing. He has a record of 3-2 on the year, of 4.76 goals against average, 84.8 on the save percentage. On the Houston Aeros side of things, again brought to you by Southwest Airlines, Mike Yeo, Kevin Malgunas, Paul DiPietro, with Gord Donnelly and Jim Pack on defense. And in goal, Troy Gamble making his 3rd straight start, trying to come back after a couple of losses in a row here, and I think Gamble's going to have himself a heck of a hockey game tonight. We're underway, the Aeros and the Fort Wayne Komets. Komets with a puck in their own zone, cleared, not out. DiPietro turning, and he will get it out at center ice, and already you can see the line changes going as DiPietro is out there with Malgunas and Yeo. We've seen Lamb, who has been out there with Al Conroy and Mike Yeo. So Terry Ruskowski trying to find a combination that will work together. Puck is in the Aero zone. Back to play. It is Kevin Malgunas, and I bring in my broadcast partner, Matt Thomas, one half of the Sports Nuts. How you doing tonight?
I'm having a great time so far. I love this sport. I've followed it for 2 years now since it's been coming here to Houston, and I'm learning quickly as I go. Hope I can contribute to tonight's broadcast.
All right. Well, we're glad to have you with us. And Mike Greenlay, are you surprised by the line change, especially the checking line that's been doing so well?
Well, they have been doing well, but I'm not surprised by anything right now, Adam, especially line changes. Terry has been mixing it up quite a bit this year, and he's going to continue to do that till he finds something that works for him.
Head coach Dave Farish of the Fort Wayne Komets. His team won 4 in a row as a shot just goes wide by Laniel. Puck to a right point. Jakes jammed it back behind the net. McCrory watched by Paul Willett. McCrory looks in front. Here's Freer shooting. Oh, it hit the side of the net as Freer tried to sneak one in there. And the puck is jammed down low. McCrory back at a right point, trying to muscle it down, but Paul Willett takes over and he spanks it out at center, looking for Yashin, but it is Mark Laniel that is back in his own zone. The puck jammed near side. It is Straub along the boards. It's out at center for Freer. He'll bring it across the line. Freer turning. It came to Laniel. Ready to go. The shot blocked. Now Freer center. Oh, Arneal with a wide open chance. And he fired it just wide. Aeros coming out with some aggression though. Puck in the corner to the left of Peter Ing. It comes to Arneal. Arneal trying to jam it down for McCrory. Rolled it over to Freer. Right in. And he had a backhander that goes wide and a penalty coming up to the Fort Wayne Komets.
Well, Adam, there at Arneal, we talked about guys missing the net and guys not burying the puck when they had a chance. And Arneal came up there with a good pass in front and wasn't able to bury it, but the Aeros will get some more chances as they go on the power play. Terry Ruskowski throwing out a lineup up there of Lamb, Slivchenko, Turgeon, and on the blue line, you still haven't seen anybody out there yet, so they're still working on that. But here, right out in front, Arneal gets a glorious, I believe, opportunity. Well, that's the penalty, I'm sorry, as he was chopped down in front, but Arneal, like we talked about, Adam, had a glorious opportunity. He wasn't able to find the handle.
Matt, we talked at the start of the game. We wanted to see the Aeros in the first 5 minutes with some aggression, some scoring chances.
Certainly have, especially after Wednesday night's performance, having 44 shots on goal. Obviously, the goaltender for the Komets did a great job for them, but to see some more aggression out of the Aeros here in the first minute and a half is very pleasing.
They saw Bob Asenza, who was in goal last game. Now they've got Peter Ing. We'll see how they do on the power play. It's jammed behind the cage for Slivchenko. It comes to Al Conroy. Tipped it back to the line for Valamont. He's in the hockey game while Miles O'Connor is one of the scratches on the blue line. Lamb at a right point, had it knocked away. It came back out at center ice, and Lamb back into his own zone. He's forechecked on the play by Kevin Williams, drifting behind the net. And here is Valamont. Valamont a pass out at center, and it is Al Conroy who shoots it in. Ing slowed behind the net. Dupuis, he's belted by Turgeon. In there, Slivchenko trying to dig it out. There's skate to skate in the corner. Puck came to the line. It's out at center ice. Lamb out to regroup. No score in the hockey game. 2 minutes gone in the first period. Puck back into the Fort Wayne zone, and Guy Dupuis will hustle back. Dupuis in behind that quick shot goes all the way down into the Houston Aeros zone. 1:10 remaining in the Paul Willett minor. And Mark Lamb will turn. Lamb from right to left. Lamb had his pass broken up, and it's turned around by DiPietro. Paul DiPietro for Paul Willett. And it'll turn to the near side, Laniel, and he's bumped off the puck, turned down, but DiPietro was there. Behind for Lamb, as it's played by the Aeros, and they'll bring it out with 45 on the power play. DiPietro across the line. He'll dump the puck into the far corner. In after it was DiPietro. Took along the boards. They battle behind the net. Freer to Arneal. Right back for Freer, and he's belted from behind, but no call as Sergei Stas got there. Lamb had it poke check, but he got it back in center ice. While Freer got drilled from behind, the play going on. Brian Straub for the Fort Wayne Komets in behind and turns near side. He'll clear it right back to neutral ice. Mark Freer is there. Freer at center. He's muscled off the puck by Rob Murphy. Kevin Whitman turns it ahead, and it's controlled by the Houston Aeros. Laniel, Pack, out at center. Get it to Sergei Stas, and now does Jim Pack as the power play is over, and teams are at 5 aside. Puck is into the Fort Wayne zone, and Peter Ing covers up, holds on, and we take timeout. Scoreless hockey game, more IHL action after this. Back in the Summit, Terry Ruskowski and the Aeros, no score. Komets nothing. 16:24 to go in this first period, and pretty good crowd on hand tonight as we get a face-off to the left side of Peter Ing. And you know, sometimes, Matt, when a team is going through a slump, and you can even talk about the Oilers that have slumped in a while, they always try different combinations to find something that works.
Or try different players. Seeing Ronnie Thomas get a benching for the Oilers, and then all of a sudden you get Marion Best different combinations. So I think the Aeros trying to do the same thing tonight.
Puck is controlled by the Fort Wayne Komets. Off the draw, it is Darren Smith who banged it to the line, not out. Held in by Yo, jammed it down into the corner. Chris Talk shouldered in there by Malgunas. Fighting for the puck, Paul Willett digs it out for Fort Wayne. Turns it from left to right. Willett a pass out at center ice for Darren Smith. He's trying to dump it in on Valamont. It'll trickle down to Gamble. He will turn and slow and fire it out to the far side. Yo can't bank it out of the zone. Willett turning behind the net. Willett, base of the right circle. He's bumped by Yo as Mike Yo continues to fire a shoulder into the corner. Komets trying to lug it out of there. It's loose along the boards and Malgunas is there. Kevin Malgunas, center ice, Scott McCrory. He will bring it over with Yo. Yo, right side, shoots, blocked, and it'll come to the near side. First one there is Konstantin Shafranov. Shafranov for the Fort Wayne Komets. Motored out the center ice. Jake's trying to turn it around. Couldn't find Conroy. Laniel back to his own blue line. 4.5 gone. First period. No score in the hockey game from the Summit. Aeros trying to wrap up their 7-game homestand on an up note. A win tonight would make them 3-4 in this homestand. It is Laniel as all 5 Komets up the forecheck in the trap, and the Aeros are able to push it ahead, and Turgeon's got a break! Great save by Ing! Turgeon had about a split second, though, to decide what he wanted to do. A backhanded shot lifted down low. It's pushed away by the Komets. Not out. Lamb fell, but it's picked up by Sean Evans. He takes a bump from Turgeon, and Conroy trying to chip it away, and the Komets able to get it out of there. Oh, a near good play for Sylvain Turgeon, but it's turned around by Shafranov and flipped over to the left side. Conroy in his own end. Forecheck by Andy Bizo. And away the Aeros come to center ice. Mark Lamb through the neutral zone. Hits the line. Dumped it into the Fort Wayne end. Back to the near corner. McBain. Watched by Turgeon. Rob Murphy was there. And the Komets will chip it out at center ice. 14:30 to go in the first. No score.
Turgeon showing his speed on that play as he just couldn't get the handle to put it by Ing. Ing made a very good save as well.
Now the puck shot in front. Jim Pack blocked it. Rob Murphy left side. Hit by Gord Donnelly. He had a very short-lived hockey game the other night against Fort Wayne as he got into it a little bit with Alex Nikolak. Here is Slivchenko trying to move it around Sergei Stas. It is Slivchenko. He's belted by Stas, and McBain shoveled it out at center ice. It'll go into the Aeros zone. No icing, though, as Donnelly goes back to play. Forecheck by Nikolak. Those two had some pretty good words, and we'll keep an eye on those two tonight. Puck out at center ice. Aeros have it. Slivchenko heading up ice. Slivy across the line with Fearon Arneal. Slivchenko turns, centered it. Oh, Ing had a little trouble with it, but he stuck it aside and play halted.
You know, Adam, the Aeros had their first power play right there, and you and I had discussed and even talked to other players about some of the things, and you look at the list there, puck movement and shooting, continuous pressure, composure, and those are all things that you need to do to be successful in the power play. Of course, their overall execution was bad because everything else was. So through the night, we're going to be bringing you that graphic, and it's going to show what we think the Aeros are doing on each one of those points, and then we'll give you an overall, and even if they don't score, if they do well on it, it still shows good pressure, but that power play wasn't very effective, Adam.
And a face-off to the left side of Peter Ing. What is effective? Right behind the Aero bench, President George Bush has just arrived at the game. He's about, 2 rows right behind the Aero bench. Puck is in the Fort Wayne zone. It's brought out at center ice. Kevin Wortman rolled it out to Yashin across the line. The drive blocked by Kevin Grant. Yashin, who had 3 goals, upended by Grant. Back to play is Paul DiPietro. It is DiPietro trying to bring it out of the zone. Forechecked away. Darren Smith popped it back to the line, but it went down behind the cage, and Carl Valamont is there. Valamont to Slivchenko. Runs it out at center. Turned around by Wortman. Popped back into the Aero zone. It is Valamont trying to move it ahead down the left side. Komets making changes, though, and Mitch Messier turns it ahead. Messier's pass intercepted by Yo, and make that Steve Jenks, who tried to turn it ahead, but Bizo took it away. Here's Bizo shooting, scoring! Andy Bizo. It got through the legs of Troy Gamble, and it's a 1-0 Fort Wayne lead.
Tell you what, Adam, a good break there for the Fort Wayne Komets, and Bizo just basically overpowers Troy Gamble on that shot. He just winds up and blasts it, and it just gets right underneath of Troy Gamble's stick. I think Troy Gamble might have been trying to direct it to the corner, but it just overpowers him as it goes right underneath the stick. Bizo, that's his 3rd goal of the season, and 6th goal of the season. I was talking to Terry Ruskowski about this player. He leads the league in penalty minutes, but he does it well offensively too. So Terry said that's the kind of player he likes to see.
Puck is at center ice. Mark Laniel sends one ahead. Here's Lamb. He's got Conroy cutting to the net. Lamb to Turgeon. Can't get the shot away. Puck is in skates. It's kicked loose. And Mitch Messier, team captain, and of course the younger brother of Mark Messier, skate to skate in the corner. And Turgeon came away. Gives to Conroy. He tried to center it. Sean Evans was there to bank it up over the glass and out of play. Let's take timeout. Komets 1, Aeros 0. We'll have more action after this.
Komets lead it 1-0 on a shot by Andy Bizo. And here you'll have the goal as Bizo comes down the wing and just lets one rip nice and low. And Gamble gets it under the toe of his stick. And it trickles through. He dives at it, but he doesn't quite get there in time as it just goes over the line. 1-0 Komets early in the game. That's the kind of goal that Troy Gamble would like to have back, Adam.
And he will get his chance, I'm sure. I think we'll see a good game from him regardless. As the puck jammed into the corner, McCrory trying to move it ahead. He skate to skate with Sergei Stas. Freer, who had an outstanding game against Four-Way Wednesday Center. Arneal the shot, and Petering makes the save. We'll watch that second key, the Cage Cops key that we talked about in the Oshman's game plan, is one of the Aeros. Scott McCrory slow to get up. The key that we talked about was, Greener, that the goaltenders, the Aeros goaltenders, haven't been as good as their opposition goaltenders as of late. I mean, Rob Dobson was IHL goaltender of the week a couple of weeks ago, but it's been a while since we've seen that quality goaltending from either netminder. And you know, when that comes back, I think things are going to be fine.
Well, I think I agree with you. I think the goaltenders really set a precedent for themselves early, and then after that they were they've kind of cooled off a little bit. They need to get their consistency up and really start working on that.
This reminder, Hey Jude help. It's been a hard day's night, but we can work it out. Join the Houston Aeros November the 17th in a tribute to the Beatles. My favorite group, Adam. The popular Beatlemania group will be here to perform throughout the game. Let it be, and don't miss out on a Beatlemania night, November the 17th at the Summit with your Houston Aeros. We want to hold your hand, and you better not hold either one of my hands.
No. You like the Beatles?
Oh, they're my favorite.
Really?
I'm here.
I did not know that.
Yes. Ringo Starr and I have a large history together.
While we have a minute, Matt, not many people, or those that don't know, let's introduce you a little bit here. Of course, you're one half of the Sports Nuts. You and Darren Jones, Sports Nuts on KSEV radio from Monday through Friday. Right. But tomorrow, the big day, 3 hours, Sports Paid Saturday.
From 6 until 9 on AM 950 KPRC. And, of course, you two gentlemen have been guests on my show before. We do an Aeros magazine every Saturday morning from 7:30 until 8. So for all of you hockey fans out there that want to talk about hockey, great opportunity to do so on Saturday mornings.
You should mention, although tomorrow we won't be on because of the travel time.
That's right.
But we'll be back at our regular time next weekend.
Bring me back some souvenirs from Milwaukee?
Yes. I know I'm going to miss you in Vegas next week.
You know it.
I'm going to back an autograph of Laverne and Sherry.
Laverne's my favorite guy.
Puck goes into the Aero zone and Gamble slows, and here's Jim Pack behind the cage. Slammed it near side Yo, brought to DiPietro. He turns in his own zone. Paul DiPietro, quick pass to the far side, and it's Gord Donnelly. He'll shoot it all the way down the ice. Will this go to Ing? No, well, yeah, he did. He ended up stopping it. It looked like he was going to go wide, but they waved off the icing. 11:25 to go in the first. Aeros trail 1-0 on an Andy Bizo goal, and Kevin Grant back to his own blue line. Slides one to Valamont. Valamont pass for Slivchenko across the line. He's got a lane. He turns, centered. Oh, what a save, rebound, they score! Paul DiPietro, he stayed with it and jammed it in the net, and this hockey game is tied at 1.
What a great effort there. Slivchenko, by most people's standards, he should have shot that, but he still made a great play across the net. And you're right, it was a great second effort that got that puck in the net. As the puck comes across, DiPietro's hooked on the play. It hits the post, but he stays with it. He's got two players on him, but he still gets it up into the top corner. A great goal by DiPietro from Slivchenko. It's his 5th of the season.
Guys, it's the 3rd or 4th time tonight they've had a 3-on-1 advantage. Obviously, in Wednesday's performance as well, this Aero team a lot quicker than the Komets.
And that's what we've been waiting to see as the puck turned by Freer across the line. Freer cutting in. Freer looks, shoots! Did he tuck it in? Yes, he did, but they say no goal. They tucked it in, and
the light's on.
The light is on, but nobody's home. I don't think they're going to call it a goal.
Controversy, guys.
Well, I tell you what, it was sliding across the line, but I don't know. We obviously don't have
television replay, that kind of thing as far as judging goals. But I think the referee is going to...
He pointed to center ice. They are going to call it a goal.
He's making a good call there as the judge did turn the light on. And here we'll have it again as Freer makes a great move. He's unmolested as he walks in from the faceoff dot, and he just tucks it between the legs. And I don't know, they're not going to call that. Freer's watching it the whole time here, and they're trying to get it, and then the whistle goes. And the referee was late getting there, but I think the whistle went. But the judge did put the light on. That doesn't mean that the puck went in before the whistle, though. Wiskowski's reacting not well. He was reacting well to the goal, but then he reacts badly as he finds out that he doesn't get the goal.
You know, guys, even with instant replay, you don't hear the whistle, and it's a lot of it is when the whistle is blown.
And that's true. As well, they will get a power play out of this, but I tell you what. It was a great play by Freer, and we talked about guys driving to the net, and Freer did that, and he was almost rewarded for it. I think the puck sat on the line a little too long, and the referee finally blew the whistle when there was too many guys in the crease. It looked like a dog pile in there.
It did. I wouldn't want to be under it.
Was that a fumble?
I don't know, but there's a lot of folks arguing about instant replay in football. We may see it in hockey here before long if more calls go against the Aeros like that.
It is Laniel. Turns down the near side for Conroy. Aeros on the power play for a couple of minutes as Messier's in the box. And it's jammed out at center ice. Aeros 0 for 1 on the power play. And it's shot down the ice. Gamble slows for the first man back. It's Mark Laniel. 1:42 on the power play. And Laniel shoots it into the zone. It'll carry him to the near side. McBain bumped by Conroy. In there, Slivchenko. It goes to Turgeon. Conroy tipped it back to Mark Lamb. He's got Laniel at the point, instead turned it down for Turgeon, a bouncing puck, and Andy McBain is there. McBain to center ice, shoots it over to the left side for Rob Murphy, and back down into the Aero zone it goes. Mark Lamb, pass center ice for Sylvain Turgeon, right side, shoots it into the zone, a good hard dump in. First man there, Willett, but he was bumped by Conroy, but Willett got it to the line, not out, held in Laniel, steers it to Turgeon, back to Lamb. Fort Wayne Komets watch him when they penalty kill. They really attack now. Behind the cage, it's Slivchenko playing peekaboo. Center score! Al Conroy! What a goal! A great pass from Slivchenko, and this is no doubt a goal. Aeros up 2-1, a power play goal.
Adam, Al Conroy almost blew that one right through the net. He's a leading scorer for the Aeros with 4 goals and 8 assists, make that 5 goals. Good play by Turgeon, beating Slivchenko behind the net. Slivy just watches Conroy come in, beats him. Conroy gets out of the way and puts it right off the bar upstairs. What an excellent goal. Good job by they moved the puck very well on that power play, and Slivchenko saw Conroy get loose, and Conroy makes no doubt about it. He put that one off the post and into the net, and as Adam said, no doubt about that one.
Face-off will be at center ice, and Al Conroy, he's been a frustrated hockey player, but boy, that's a good goal for him.
You know, Adam, very encouraging to see this team score on the power play. Very respectable numbers on the road, but their home record against the power play has been really miserable, not even being among the top 10 leaders in the West.
They need something to turn it around. Now we're going to get Malgunas and Andy Bizo. This ought to be a good bout. Bizo against Malgunas. Ooh, Malgunas took a left, but he got one in there as well. They're locked up. Bizo with some lefts. This is a pretty wild bout right now. Bizo, a lot of clutching and grabbing. Some punches being thrilled. Now, uppercut by Bizo, and down goes Malgunas. Tell you what, Bizo just goes and goes and goes, and Bizo takes him right down to the ice, and the linesmen separate him.
Well, Bizo leads the league in penalty minutes with 123, but he's also second with major penalties with 9. And of course, he's third with minor penalties with 19. So he's no stranger to the penalty box. I think they're going to have a nameplate for him there.
As a matter of fact, Mike, he's been their league high 14 straight games. I was surprised, guys, in Wednesday's game against the Komets in this first of 2, they were on their best behavior for a better part of a period and a half. Then all of a sudden, we had a 5-on-5 fight. I knew it wasn't going to be that long before we had one like this evening.
It kept it like that. And Greener, let's take a look at the power play, the last power play, and your evaluations.
Well, we looked at it, and we had everything was very good, of course. They scored the goal, but they didn't have any continuous pressure, but they scored so early, really, they really didn't need continuous pressure as they popped that one in early on Conroy's. So a good job by the power play. Hey, when you do a lot of those things right, and sure, there are a lot of other things that we could add to that list, I'm sure, but those are some of the main ones, and if you do most of those, as Terry Wiskowski had his team doing on the power play there, you're going to be rewarded with a goal like the Aeros were that time.
Face off at center as DiPietro wins the draw to Jim Pack, and it is controlled by Gord Donnelly. His pass misses DiPietro, and it's back into the Aero zone. Mike Yeo turns one out at center, but Chris Talk is there, and he hammered it into the Houston zone where Gamble slowed. First man back, Gord Donnelly rolls it near side for Jim Pack, trying to bang it ahead. He was bumped by Nikolic. Puck near side, Messier trying to dig it out. Jim Pack skate for skate in there. Puck was centered, it hit a skate in there, and Jim Pack turns and spanks it ahead, and the Aeros are off to center ice. Slivchenko, a man to beat. Talk, Slivy, right in! Tried to tuck it there, but it went just wide. Slivchenko trying to play it, but it came to DiPietro. The one-time shot in skates, and Peter Ing was there, and he will hold on. Let's take timeout. 9 minutes to go in the first period. It's Houston 2, Fort Wayne 1. We will be right back.
8:58 remaining in the first period of play. The Aeros with the Komets by the score of 2-1. And a special guest is with us this evening in the Summit, former President Bush, along with Mrs. Barbara Bush. I'm sure a couple of the grandkids met her out, and one of them looks like they've already got an Aeros puck, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if he caught that one or...
I think he got a special present, I bet, before he got here.
I'm sure he was looking.
You have those kind of special treatment.
Membership has its privilege.
That's right.
Don't leave home without it. Puck controlled by the Aeros. They're on the power play. Puck came to the near side, and it is Paul DiPietro. The Aeros already with 3 power plays on the night. 1 for 2 on the man advantage. Dupuis across the line. Here's the chance. Evans centered it. Picked away by DiPietro. He'll ramble to center ice. DiPietro to Mark Freer. Puck cross. It was blocked though, and Dupuis shoots it back into the Aero zone. Mark Lamb in his own end. He'll turn it from right to left. Lamb, a rink-wide pass, bounces through Laniel, and the Komets shoot it right back down. It's in Houston Aero territory. Picking it loose, Paul Willett, but it's jammed back down to Laniel. Over to Mark Lamb. Lamb trying to get it out of there. I'll tell you, the Fort Wayne Komets outstanding forechecking right now. They're sending everybody pretty hard. Now the Aeros have a chance. 2-on-1, and they hustle. Freer across the line. DiPietro. Freer shoots. Great save by Ing, and he will hold on. Freer coming down the left side, which is not his off wing. That's his wing, but trying to get it up there, and Peter Ing played his angle just well.
Well, I think what Freer needs to do on a play like that is make a move. He had plenty of time, and even if he can't get the puck over to DiPietro, he's got to make a move. All he does is shoot it, and Ing's already going to have the angle on him. Freer, he has good moves. He's got to use some of them, and if he'd used some of them there, at least he'd have made Ing make a move and make the save.
Dominating first period, guys, for the Aeros on the shots on goal. Houston 11 to Fort Wayne 2. Much like it was Wednesday when they had, what, like 15 or 16 in the first?
46-29 was the final for the Aeros on the night.
Off the draw, the Komets have it, and it's scooped out to center ice, and back into the Aero zone it will go. Out of the net, Troy Gamble, and Steve Jenks will play it with a minute remaining on the power play. It is Jenks from right to left. Pass center ice for Turgeon, looking for a man to go to. Instead, he'll carry it some more, and then his pass is broken up. And the Komets trying to bring it in, but Conroy intercepted it and shot it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Ing out of the cage to slow. First man there is Stas. He's bumped, though, by Turgeon. Conroy, nice pass back to line. Malamont shot it, blocked by Messier. And the Komets have it out at center ice. Mitch Messier turns it ahead down the right side. It is Brian Straub. Pulls up, base of the right circle. Bumped by Malamont. Center to pass, tipped away, and Turgeon's got some room to motor. Turgeon left side, trying to get through Messier. Turgeon shades him off the puck. Turgeon trying to center it, but it was blocked. And it is cleared by the Komets with 20 seconds remaining in the Aero power play. They lead it 2-1 though, with 7:12 to go in the first period. And 12 seconds remaining on the power play. Puck right side, Freer across the Fort Wayne line. He had a poke check, but the Komets are there, and that will do it for the power play. So the Aeros go 1 of 3 on the man advantage. Jim Pack goes back behind the cage, and he will turn it from right to left. Pack out to McCrory at center. McCrory gives it right side. Arneal gives it back to McCrory. McCrory looks in front. He's got Freer. He tried to stuff one out with a centering pass. Nice idea, but Kevin Wortman was there, and he'll shoot it down the ice. It is icing as the Aeros are back, and play is whistled down.
Good job there on the power play. They moved it around pretty good, Adam. They weren't rewarded with a goal as it was kind of a back and forth kind of power play. Troy Gamble hasn't had a lot of work tonight, but here's the grade, guys. Puck movement, they did move it around pretty well when they had it. They didn't get a lot of shots, and they didn't have any continuous pressure. They showed some good composure in their defensive zone, but for overall execution, it wasn't good enough.
You remind me of my 8th grade elementary algebra teacher. You're tough.
I'm a tough grader.
I was going to say, Adam, you were talking about Turgeon and Messier. If you'd have said just those 2 names alone, I'd ask, okay, what NHL game are we watching?
Well, you'd think the Rangers and the Ottawa Senators, but you're not. You're watching the Fort Wayne Komets.
It's a family affair, right?
Yeah. Oh, who are you, Brian Keith now? Holy.
Okay, Jody.
Oh. As long as I'm not Buffy. Puck control by Kevin Wortman. Oh, boy. See if I ask you back. Puck is down low to McCrory. He's belted by Tuck. I guess you could say he got his clock rung by Tick-Tock. Puck controlled by Wortman. Jammed it ahead. Yashin. It's out at center ice. And the Aeros slam it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Ings slows. And it is Tuck again. Fired it off the boards. McCrory knocked it down. Battling with Yashin. It's chipped to the line and out at center ice. 6:12 to go in the first. 2-1 hockey game. Aeros lead it on goals by Al Conroy. And Paul DiPietro. I couldn't remember about the first Aero goal. I'm thinking of Freer's goal that got called back, and that's what stuck in my mind. DiPietro and Conroy. It is Arneal. Shoots the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Back to get it is Sean Evans, and the Aeros making line changes, so the Komets a chance to clear. Left side, Guy Dupuis rolls it into the Aeros zone. Gamble slowed behind the cage. He's got Messier pursuing, but he got rid of it to Kevin Grant. To DiPietro. Can't clear the zone. Puck picked up by the Komets. Messier turns left side. Jammed it down for Shafranov. In behind. He looks center to Meehan. The shot. Gamble stopped it. Rebound. Gamble stopped that, and he'll hold on. So Konstantin Shafranov working with Kevin Meehan very well, and Troy Gamble comes up with a couple of nice saves.
Well, the puck was dumped out front, and we saw that when Cleveland was successful doing that. They get behind the net, and all they do is dump it out front. And Shafranov just dumps it out front, hoping for something, and he almost gets it. His Mame was trying to jam it home, but a good job by Valamon, who has played very well since he's become an Aero again this year, and he keeps him away from the net, and Gamble covers it up.
Couple of goals so far for the Aeros. Lead this one 2-1. Adam, it's got to be very polished, and Mike as well, about to seeing Troy's confidence a little bit here. He's in his third consecutive game. They're obviously saying it's time for you to step up a little bit.
Puck is shot out at center. Here comes Slivchenko busting in. A backhander. Ings stopped it, and he will hold on. So going back to his point, it's good to see Troy getting his confidence back.
It is, and talking about goaltenders that play a lot and that don't. I mean, you look at Troy Gamble, and then conversely, you look over at the other end, you look at Peter Ing, who hasn't played a lot, and he looks kind of not shaky tonight, but he looks like he's only played 3 out of the last 9 or 10 games, but of course, as a goaltender, as a former goaltender,
he wants to play again, folks.
Yes. Hey, you've been trying to hide it all year. Yeah. You can't fool us.
But Dave Ferris giving Ing a chance to try and get some playing time under his belt. And Ferris, a very tough competitor himself.
I guess you could say he is playing Ing. Try and say that. I just tried. Didn't work. It's back into the Fort Wayne zone. Messier slams it out at center for Shafranov. Busting across the Aero line. Trying to get around Laniel. Good job by Jakes, and they're going to call that. Holy smokes, and the Aeros come away with it, and we're going to get a penalty on the Houston Aeros with 5:07 left.
Well, Jakes, he's also no stranger to the penalty box, as he's right behind Bezo on the minor penalty race, and he has 18, make that 19. But here, this is hooking at him. I mean, when you spin a player around like that, he knocked him off the puck. I guess when you reach out with your stick, it's a blatant penalty, and I guess I'm not sure whether it was warranted or not. There were men back, and I don't know if Jakes need to put his stick out and go water skiing there, but still, it shows that at least that he's being aggressive. But this will put the first power play for the Fort Wayne Komets tonight.
Drop of the puck, and the Aeros have it. It's Jim Pack. First power play of the night for the Houston Aeros, or for the Fort Wayne Komets. The Aeros penalty killing ranked dead last in the IHL. Puck is at center ice. Konstantin Shafranov motoring through the neutral zone across the line, trying to get it to McBain. McBain's got it left side. McBain trying to cut it down, met by Donnelly, slipped it back behind the net. Shafranov takes a pretty good check. Wow, from Jim Pack, a little slow to get up, and Pack will shoot it down the ice. It's in the Fort Wayne zone, and Brian Straub is there. 4:36 to go in the first period. A 2-1 Aero lead. 1:25 to go in the Jakes penalty. Straub pass left side, and it came out at center ice for Kevin Wortman. Hammered it into the Aero zone. Gamble couldn't knock it down. First one there, McBain chipped it back. Straub looking down for McBain, but instead Meehan. Give it to Rob Murphy. Banks to the right circle. He's belted by Donnelly. Puck came out in front. It's loose in skates, and the Aeros come away with it. Arneal shorthanded with Carl Valamont. Arneal at center ice, just going for a nice little skate back to Carl Valamont. He is one of the best at just, if he's got some room, just hoist it high in the air and down the ice it'll go. Power play down to 50 seconds for the Komets, and away they come. Kevin Wortman up the left side, pass center ice. Yashin across the line with Willett. Yashin pulls up at the left side, trying to jam it behind the cage for Willett. Gamble got a piece. It was centered for Meehan, but Laniel got there. Laniel trying to move it ahead, and Yo is there, and he'll shoot it right back down the ice. 3:40 to go in the first. Half a minute to go in the Jenks minor. Aeros with a 2-1 lead. Guy Dupuis.
From Brooklyn, obviously.
He turns one out at center ice. Where'd you pull out that one, Matthew? Jeez. Goes back into the Fort Wayne zone. And the Komets are back. 17 seconds left in the Fort Wayne power play. Guy Dupuis at center ice. Pass to Willett. Goes into the Aero zone. Gamble out to Slow, and he'll shoot it hard along the boards. Willett knocked it down. It came out to Mark Lamb. Can he clear the zone? No. But Mike Yo can. And the power play is over, and teams are at 5-a-side. So the Aeros have killed off Fort Wayne's first power play. They lead it 2-1. 3 minutes to go in the first period. Pass along the boards, bounce to the line. Conroy could not hold it in. He turned it back in, and the Aeros had to regroup at neutral ice. At center, it is Donnelly. Rolls one to Jim Pack. Pack will shoot it into the Fort Wayne zone, batted down by Sean Evans. He'll go back to play it and then shoot it all the way down the ice. This will be icing if the Aeros get there. Pack will get it, and we will take timeout. 2-1, the Aeros lead it. Don't go away. We're right back after this.
2-1 Aeros lead with 2:38 remaining in the first period. And the Aeros starting to show some good aggressiveness along the boards as Pack takes out Shafranov. A little dangerous, but I think Shafranov was doing a little acting on that one as he didn't really hit the boards. He might have took a cross check in the lower back, but I like to see the aggressiveness nevertheless.
Face-off is in the Fort Wayne zone to the left of Petering. Teams are at 5-a-side. Shots on goal unofficially 12-3 in favor of the Aeros. And you know, Matt, we were talking before the break there, during the break, about the Aeros' aggressiveness. Good to see.
Much more aggressive, and obviously taking advantage of the power play tonight, something they could not have done earlier this season. This 2-1 lead standing up and giving Gamble more confidence by the minute.
Face off to the left of Ing, won by the Aeros. Conroy the drive. It was deflected behind the net. Mark Lamb trying to center it. They bang away at a loose puck. Conroy. Base of the left circle, worked on by Kevin Meehan. Meehan trying to jam it away through traffic, and Meehan has got it. He'll hoist it high in the air, and that should be a souvenir, and it is. And the face-off will come back into the Fort Wayne zone. 2:23 left in the first. Aeros 2, Komets 1. Kevin Wortman, what a playoff series he had. He was one of the top defensemen for the Kansas City Blades in the Turner Cup last year, and of course picked up as a free agent in the offseason.
And he's one of the top defensemen for the Fort Wayne Komets, Adam. He has 3 goals, 7 assists for 10 points, and he's the leading defenseman on their team. So he's doing well for them. And you know, I mean, you look at, but you look at the game tonight, Adam. Isn't it kind of a night and day from last game? Actually, not totally night and day, but the Aeros have dominated even more than they did in the first period last game.
Yeah, and the thing is, as much as they dominated, Bob Asenza was the difference tonight. Petering has not been the difference, and I'm not faulting Petering. I mean, he's playing all right, but it's just the difference is they've been able to dent his armor twice, where Asenza they haven't. Puck came out. Arneal hammers the shot, and Ing will hold on to it. And, you know, and then Mark Freer getting into it with Chris Talk. It looked like sticks got high, but I think everything's going to be cool as Rob Martell, our referee tonight, I think is going to let everything go. But if you remember going back to the Fort Wayne game, Greener, the Aeros got hammered 7-3. I thought Petering played very well, but of course the difference wasn't that. It was just how well the Komets played and how poorly the Aeros played in front of Rob Dobson.
Yeah, and that was, of course, the first game of the season. That was quite some time ago. And then, of course, the most recent game on Wednesday, they lost 6-2. But I think the difference that has to be tonight is I think the Aeros have to be offensively strong while also being defensively smart. And that's gonna be a big point tonight, is whether the Aeros can dominate the play, but then watch themselves defensively as well.
Puck is in the Fort Wayne zone. It's rolled to the near side, and it's jammed down in front, but turned by Rob Murphy. And it's out at center ice. Mark Laniel rolling right side for Jake. Pushed it into the Fort Wayne zoning, knocked it down. Straub is there. Straub turning in front of his net, having trouble with it, but he got it down the ice. It will not be icing, so Gamble comes out to try and play it away from Shafranov. He does. Right back to McBain. He had the open net as Gamble was a little late getting back, but the Aeros able to clear the heat and it goes back down the ice. Ryan Straub hustles back to play it. Icing waved off again. 1:35 to go in the first period. Houston 2, Fort Wayne 1. Andy McBain at center ice. Turns one rink wide for Murphy. Now to Shafranov. Moving right side. A backhander. Gamble stopped that with a right pad. And it is Mark Lamb who turns it for Turgeon, and it's out to center ice. Fort Wayne trying to bat it ahead. They said they batted it in while players were still in the zone. That is offside, and play is whistled down. 2-1 in favor of the Aeros, and be sure to stay with us in the first intermission. We've got Matt Thomas and myself. We'll talk a little bit about this first period, and then we'll look at highlights, some stats. Dave Farish, we're looking at now for those of you watching on Prime Sports. For those of you listening on KPRC, Dave Farish, we'll try and describe him. Not a lot of hair on his head.
Not a lot of hair at all. Not a lot of hair at all.
Tell you what, though, his hockey team plays a lot like he did, Greener.
He did. He fierce competitor, and as I said earlier, he's the kind of guy who I would, I guess, compare him to as a Mike Keenan for the St. Louis Blues. A very intense, asks a lot out of his players, and he gets a lot.
Not only is he the head coach, but he's also the director of player personnel, so he's making each individual move himself.
It is a puck that is to the near side for Jim Pack, bumped by Willett. Pack fell, and now it is Darren Smith, but Lamb's got him tied up. I like the terminology that Pete Dineen had about Mark Lamb. He's a lot like Dave Tippett. And it is Mark Lamb trying to get it out of the zone. And it is Gord Donnelly turning in behind the net. Donnelly muscled along the boards by Willett, and here is Sylvain Turgeon. Runs it out to center ice for Lamb. He's got a break as Conroy being hooked in a penalty coming up to the Komets. Lamb's got Turgeon in front. He centered it, but it was behind Turgeon. Toughness, the timing was off on that because Lamb had to get one more stride before he found a lane to get to Turgeon. It was behind him. And play is halted as we are going to get a hooking minor with 32.5 seconds to go in the first period. Aeros 2, Komets 1. Aeros are going to get their 4th power play of the night.
And I think going to the box will be Yashin, who had 3 goals last game for the Fort Wayne Komets. Tonight he doesn't have, I don't even think he has 1 shot, but he'll sit down for 2 minutes as he gets caught on hooking there. And you know what happens a lot of times, Adam, is the player will be back checking, but he just has a couple more strides to catch the opposing player, and he'll put that stick out and go for a little ride, and he'll get caught on that as he'll get 2 minutes for hooking. And the Aeros will see their 4th power play of the night. So far they're 1 for 3, so very positive signs so far, Adam.
Face off to the right of Peter Ing. Off the face off, Mark Lamb. He turns it down. Here's the chance. Arneal shooting, couldn't get it away fast enough. It was blocked. Laniel turned it back to Arneal at the hash marks right side. Threw it right off Kevin Meehan, but Arneal, did he get it back? Yes. Arneal at the hash mark. Now cutting base left circle, had it tipped away. And away the Komets come. 2-on-2. Kevin Meehan with Rob Murphy across the line. Meehan trying to meander around the net. He centered one, but it was tipped away, and here is Mark Laniel. 8 seconds left in the period, and the Aeros will get the rest of the power play in the second period. Freer across the line, dropped it for Arneal. Here's a centering pass that is blocked, and that'll do it. The buzzer sounds, ending this first period. An outstanding first period by the Houston Aeros, and the crowd, a standing ovation. This crowd has been waiting for a good period, and they finally have seen it. The Aeros leading the Fort Wayne Komets by a score of 2-1, and we'll have first intermission festivities after this. Welcome back to the Summit, everybody. It's a 2-1 hockey game. The Houston Aeros leading the Fort Wayne Komets, and it's my pleasure to put on camera Matt Thomas, who, if I were to go through everything that Matt Thomas does, we'd be here all night. I mean, of course, KPRC radio. He's the voice of the Houston Rockets in PA, and I understand you're going to do some Rice baseball?
Rice baseball and some women's basketball. In addition, the Houston Hot Shots on radio. So I feel like I live here at the Summit.
You do, and in fact, he has a cot downstairs. But we know that you've been busy at that first period, enjoying an outstanding first period by the Houston Aeros.
It has been a lot of fun here. The Aeros with the big band out here, the nice crowd. President Bush is out here. Great play so far, being aggressive. It looks like for the most part in this first period, the Aeros have spent a lot of time on their third of the arena. And it's very encouraging, especially since they were felt so discouraged, only scoring 2 goals against the Komets.
You know, Matt has had me on here for the last 4 or 5 weeks on his Saturday or Sports Page Saturday, and the big question he always says is that power play. What is with the power play? You can't keep asking me that now. Even though they are 1 of 4, they're playing better on the power play.
Well, I'm just thinking, if you have a 1 or 2 man advantage, you should score every time. Now, I don't understand why they're only 20%, but from what I understand, it's very encouraging to you get 20% on the power play.
And you know, the thing is, and you look at the crowd tonight, Matt, and there's about, I'd say 10,000, 11,000 here tonight. This is a 5-11 hockey team, and the fans are still coming out, which is a tribute to the organization and to the fans.
Yeah, even with Friday night football, high school football being so popular here in Texas, it's very encouraging to see so many hockey fans out there. Hopefully listening to KPRC, watching the games on Prime Sports, and hopefully after about another year or so, we'll get some real knowledgeable fans. So when they call on a Saturday morning talk show and talk to you, they'll be asking you, what happened to that power play? What's the problem with the cross-checking? Why are there so many guys getting so many penalty minutes?
And the thing is as that comes along, we'll become a little more knowledgeable ourselves. I mean, I'm still learning as we go, and I know that you picked up a lot. The funny thing, a quick story about Matt is he said to me, he says, Adam, the one thing I want to do when I get into carrying the games this year, I want to learn everything that there is to know. And you've really come along.
Well, I'm learning, and I have a great professor sitting right to the right next to me.
Where is he?
No, you're right here. You're right here. You've taught me everything I know, and for that, I give you a doctorate. So I'm going to start calling you Dr. Air Gordon.
Oh, Matt, thank you very much. We're glad to have you here, and stay with us for a couple more periods.
I will. Enjoy it.
And you can catch Matt Thomas and Darren Jones tomorrow on KPRC Sports Bait Saturday. Right now, it's 2-1. The Aeros lead it in the first intermission, and we'll have more right after this. See how easy that is? To the sounds of Ronnie Renfro and his big band, it is 2-1. The Aeros leading the Fort Wayne Komets. Explain something to me, Greener. How can you go from Casey and the Sunshine Band one night to Ronnie Renfro and the Sunshine Band the next night? I don't know.
I think they brought some of the oldies out tonight, so they're playing the oldies.
I love the big band sound.
Yeah, you're really getting a taste of the actual musical part of the music instead of just the bebop. All that kind
there is still one element. We talked about this actually the other day. There's one element I think that's missing in hockey games, and that is organ music.
Yeah, I mean, if you grew up with hockey in Canada, I think you hear the old organ and you say, I'm in an old arena, but things have changed, and now you hear all the top 40 tunes in the rinks now.
Oh, it's outstanding. And that's all what it's part of. It's energizing and a lot of fun. And I'll tell you, it has been a lot of fun for the Houston Aeros tonight. I mean, it hasn't been fun in the first 16 games, but tonight seems like a lot of fun. They trailed 1-0 and they battled back to take a 2-1 lead.
And that's the thing, Adam, is it can continue to be a good time for the Aeros and their fans. If the Aeros would apply themselves night after night, period after period. They've done it so far this period, but let's see if they can carry that a little further.
It did not start off well for the Houston Aeros. Andy Bizzo got things going with a pretty hard slap shot.
It's a good slap shot, but it's not the kind of goal that Troy Gamble will normally let in. It did sneak under his stick. It was a very hard shot from the circle, but and Gamble had the angle. It just somehow wasn't strong on his stick. And the puck slips by him off the post and just couldn't get there in time. That's Bizzo's 6th of the year. But then the Aeros come back. A good play by Slipchenko feeding the puck across. And DiPietro tips this one right upstairs as he shows very good second effort. I mean, Peter Ing tried to get across there. And as I said, Slipchenko normally would shoot this, but he makes a good pass nevertheless. And the puck ends up on DiPietro's stick, and he puts it right upstairs.
Well, one guy that's been in a funk a little bit in the offensive department has been Al Conroy, and he lights it up next.
Yeah, and he's leading the team in scoring. He gets a good pass again from Slipchenko, who's having a good game. Conroy breaks a check there from Willett, and a good job because he's being picked, but he still breaks free and gets enough wood on it to put it right upstairs. A good job of the Aeros as they lead this one 2-1.
And an outstanding job by the Houston Aeros again, outshooting the Komets 14-3. Or actually it was 13-3 in that first period. Troy Gamble making 2 saves, or actually they had 4 shots on goal, I'm told. The Komets had 4 shots. He made 3 saves, and we'll see how things go for the Houston Aeros. They moved it well on the power play. They were really intense, and that's what we like to see after 20 minutes of action. It's 2-1 Houston. We'll have more, including the second period, right after this. Back inside the Summit, Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay and Matt Thomas from Super Talk Radio KPRC. It is a 2-1 hockey game. The Aeros leading the Fort Wayne Komets. Let's take a look at tonight's first period stats. They're brought to you by your local Texas Chrysler Plymouth dealers. The Aeros out shooting officially now 13-4. We'll see if we can get that straight for you. The Aeros 1 of 3 on the power play. They do have about a minute and a half remaining on the power play to start on this second period. The Komets 0 for 1 on the power play. The Aeros 11 body checks, the Komets 8. 2 penalties for 7 minutes for the Houston Aeros, 5 penalties for 13 minutes for the Fort Wayne Komets. And the Aeros officially now 1:28 remaining in the Guy Dupuis Minor. And Troy Gamble, the man, trying to keep things going.
He hasn't had a lot of action, Adam, but and I hope that the Aeros don't give him a lot of action immediately. Let him ease back into this second period, because when you go through a period without a lot of shots, you don't want to get bombarded right at the beginning of the next period.
Matt, we talked about the Stars. We're looking at Peter Ing on Prime Sports, but we talked about the Aeros. They need to get to Peter Ing here again. The first 5 minutes come hard like they did the start of the first period.
I think most importantly, it's not Bob Asenza out there. In the game Wednesday, he was magnificent. Everything the Aeros threw at him, and you could tell by the 46 shots total in the game, it was everything. Even Grandma's peanut butter that you
I don't use
about.
That anymore.
But 13 first period shots, very, very encouraging for the Aeros. triple it up, 40 on the game. It's something that definitely the Aeros like in their stat column.
Oleg Yashin in the box. I said it was Guy Dupuis. They had 2 up thinking it was Dupuis. It's Yashin who's 20. And that is who's in there for another minute 28. And we're underway with the second period. It is Mark Lamb across the line. He is tripped up and got it into the zone. Dupuis back to play it. He's hit by DiPietro, chased down by Arneal. Back to the line for Lamb. Jammed it down along the boards for Freer. Waiting behind the net. He's got a man in front. Centered Arneal. Can't get the shot away. Here's Laniel to Lamb. Shoots upstairs. Ooh, that thing changed direction. It looked like a Phil Niekro knuckleball. Now the puck in the corner. It is Freer trying to jam it ahead. Puck hit with a high stick. And play whistle down with 53 seconds left in the Yashin minor. 2-1 hockey game.
Still a lot of time here, Adam, for the Aeros to get something together. Terry Ruskowski, I don't know if he's going to change anything up on this one, but it's kind of tough to pick up a power play halfway through. You just give yourself that much less time to get something going. But good job, nevertheless, so far.
For those of you that have not heard, we want to make another announcement on our email. Mike and I have been pretty busy on the old email here this whole week, and we've got a lot of response. I want to keep people informed. If you'd like to get a hold of either Mike Greenlay or myself, our email is addressed at agordon, that's A-G-O-R-D-O-N, all in lowercase letters, agordon@aeros.com. We had 7 letters today, all from Matt Thomas, asking what to do tonight.
I had my mother, my uncle, and my 4 cousins send you guys letters.
It is controlled near side off the draw. Aeros on the power play in their own end. It came to center ice for Arneal. Scott Arneal shoots it into the Fort Wayne zone along the boards. It is Freer. Back to the line, Lamb. They go skate to skate down. Freer is in front, but DiPietro's got it left side to the Lamb. Lamb at the line, easy for me to say, to Laniel. Tees it up, shoots, ricocheted in front. It bounced back, but Rob Murphy was able to chip it down the ice, and the Aeros have to go back. Power play down to 20 seconds. 18:51 to go in the second period. Houston 2, Fort Wayne 1. At center ice, Mark Lamb. He'll bring it across the Fort Wayne line to Turgeon, cutting in, shooting! And there was Ing with a left pad save, and he will hold on. 10 seconds left in the Yashin minor.
Turgeon showing some jump tonight, Adam, as we saw in the first period. He had a breakaway in the first period, couldn't make good on it, but boy, he's showing some speed as he gets a good pass from Mark Lamb, and he just breaks around that defenseman, and he takes a good snapshot. We've said so many times how hard his shot is. He doesn't get a lot of wood on it as he was spinning around, but Ing had to be sharp there on the butterfly, and the score remains 2-1 Aeros.
Face-off left of Ing. Conroy with Turgeon and Slivchenko. Defensively, Jim Pack and Gord Donnelly. Al Conroy with a goal. Slivchenko with a couple of assists tonight. Off the face-off, the Komets bring it out at center ice, but Jim Pack is there. Penalty down to 5 seconds. That should do it. Conroy tipped it ahead, left side, Slivchenko. Dropped it back, Conroy. Winds it back, Slivchenko centered. Oh, great chance, but stopped. Upstairs for Donnelly. And his shot sails up and out of play. That's a nice-looking play, but the Aeros just couldn't hit the net.
Yes, Adam, Donnelly making the right play as he cut in there, and he fired the puck just a little bit up too high. And but the Aeros showing some pretty good movement on that last power play as they moved the puck around well. Unfortunately, they didn't get enough shots on that power play, and so we're giving them a no on the shooting. They had some pretty good continuous pressure, and they obviously showed good composure. I'm giving them a good mark on that one, Adam, because they showed a lot of aggressiveness on that power play, and that just bodes well for the next time they have a power play.
All right. Rolled off the draw. It is Kevin Wortman for Fort Wayne. Streaking out this center ice for Paul Ouellette. Shoots it into the Aero end. Gamble slowed behind the net. Jim Pack turned it far side. Yashin knocked it down. Base of the right circle. Oleg Yashin pulls up, looks for the pass. Yashin trying to find a man to pass to. Yashin snapped it down. It's Darren Smith, the Paul Ouellette in behind, but it was blocked by Jim Pack. Back to the line. Here's Wortman the shot, and that was high and wide of the net. Slivchenko, can he get it out of the zone? No. It came down for Darren Smith, who's belted by Conroy, and a penalty coming up to Al Conroy. He went upstairs on Darren Smith, and that will be roughing to Al Conroy.
You know, if a player puts his shoulder into an opposing player, it's fine, but I think Al Conroy got his gloves up into the face of Darren Smith, and that's why he'll go to the box. I didn't even know Al was a little aggressive there. The puck was up in the air. You could have said he was trying to grab it, but I think he was just trying to be a little aggressive.
I think one of the most funny parts of hockey, in this man's opinion, that has only been watching it for a couple of years now, is Smith takes that nasty shot, and the only penalty is 2 minutes. I mean, I would think in a lot of cases you'd be serving time for shots like that.
Yeah.
That's why people enjoy this sport, because it shows speed, it shows roughness, as roughing will be called on Al Conroy, and it shows a great talent too to play this game.
Evans with a shot that got down to Gamble, and then he looked behind him. So obviously the Komets feeling that with Bizo scoring, I guess you could say that was 5 holes, more under that right pad, but still going between the legs there. They're thinking maybe they got to go after Gams there again.
And a good job by Evans on the point as he takes a shot. He had 3 assists last game for the Fort Wayne Komets, and he takes a shot, and Meme in front deflects that just under the pad, and a good job by Troy Gamble to squeeze the legs there and keep that puck out of the net.
Face off right side of Gamble. Aeros shorthanded for another minute 50. Valamont behind the net. Valamont trying to get it out of there. He's locked up by Shafranov and Kevin Meehan along the boards. This is the second power play of the night for the Komets. 0 for 1 thus far. Evans to Messier. Messier turning left side, looks in front. Mitch Messier waiting at the circle along the left side, trying to break the Aero box. Back to Evans, top of the slot. Sean Evans rolled it to the right side for Dupuis. Back to Evans, slammed it down. Good puck movement by the Komets, patiently waiting. Dupuis to the right side. It is Shafranov. Konstantin Shafranov. Down low, Kevin Meehan circling back into the fire circle to the line. Dupuis one-time shot. And Gamble with a right pad save as it was turned down by Evans. Now Jake's chopping at it. It goes behind the net. It's controlled. Messier to the line, and Dupuis couldn't hold it in, and it came out at center ice. Guy Dupuis, a pass for Shafranov. He lost the puck, and Kevin Grant can't clear. It's knocked down, the drive, and it's chipped away, and they are going to call that with a high stick, and they will move the face-off down the ice.
Of course, Adam, when there's a high sticking and on the power play, a high sticking the puck that is on a power play, and they usually take the puck all the way down to the other end, and good call by referee Rob Martell there. Face-off will come to the right of Peter Ing.
I'd like to ask you, Mike, as an ex-goalie, what is Gamble thinking right now? The majority of Fort Wayne the last minute or so was behind the goal. Are you having guys on your team screaming at you, there it's left, there it's right? What do you have to do to prepare for yourself?
Well, as a goalie, you want to keep at least one foot against one of the posts and keep an eye on the puck. It's not an easy thing to do because you have to turn your head. You can't turn your whole body because if the puck comes out quickly, there's no time to react. So he's looking over his shoulders, trying to keep an eye on the play, and yeah, communication is very important.
Here come the Komets from right to left. It's brought out at center ice. Oleg Yashin. He will shoot it into the Aero zone. Gamble wanted to play, but I think that went up into the Fort Wayne bench, and I think Bob Asenza made a save, so the Aeros still can't dent his armor.
Well, Bob Asenza certainly was unbelievable last game as he made 44 saves off of the Aeros' 46 shots. Of course, the Aeros only scored 2 goals last game. They have 2 goals in the first period tonight.
You know what, Matt? I want to find out. I forget. You got to remind me. How do I get season tickets?
Funny you should ask that, because Houston Aeros season ticket packages are on sale now for the 95-96 season. Avoid the draft and list today. Call 627-AERO.
38 seconds left in the Conroy minor. And it is Conroy in the box. McCrory getting it out at center. And the Komets shoot it back. Jim Pack in his own end spanks it all the way down the ice. And that'll tick off a little more time as Peter Ing out of the cage. And Brian Straub will play it. And we talked about Brian Straub, former teammate of yours with the Atlanta Knights. Screener. Puck.
Yep. He's done very well for himself, Adam.
Puck is picked up by Kevin Wortman. He's belted by McCrory. Murphy trying to turn it ahead, and the Aeros shoot it back down the ice. And Brian Straub goes back. Straub in his own zone as the penalty is over. Teams are at 5-a-side. Conroy out of the box. It is Murphy, hit by Pack. Straub turning, he's hit by Donnelly. DiPietro can't clear. Here's the drive. Oh, and a big drive high and wide of the net. And now it is picked up by Murphy. To the line. It's a shot right on. And Gamble stopped that. Big collision as Donnelly pushed Bizo to the ice. Bizo behind the cage. In there, DiPietro as the net becomes dislodged and headed up. Troy Gamble is in a little bit of a fix as he's down, and we take timeout. 15:24 to go in the second. It's the Aeros 2, the Komets 1. We'll be back with more Houston Aeros hockey in a moment, but first, this word from Southwest Airlines.
2-1 Aeros, 15:24 left, and Donnelly gets away with one as he takes down Bizo. No, there isn't a sniper in the building, but Bizo does go down in a heap there, and he, like I said, Donnelly gets away with it, and then Bizo working hard behind the net. I think Troy Gamble knows what a lobster feels like as he gets inside there in a trap, and of course the whistle's blown. Face-off right of Troy Gamble.
Off the draw, it is Mark Laniels. Chips it up for Yo. He'll move it out at center for DiPietro, but his pass was blocked by Guy Dupuis. Shoots it into the arrow end. It'll come down to Troy Gamble. Mark Laniel slows it heads up. Bezo goes into the net, and I think we're going to get a penalty on Carl Valamont.
Well, you know, either that or Bezo thinks that if he just puts the puck in his pants and jumps into the net, he's going to get a goal. But right now, the Arrows will go on the penalty kill, and they've done good thus far. They're they've killed off 2, and they'll have to kill off another as Valamont clips a little bit of Bezo there, and he flies into the net. And here you have another look at it as
score!
Oh, wait a second, I don't have the puck. But good job by Bezo trying to forecheck, but you know, it's a tripping call. It could be called a lot of things, but Valamont does step in front of him and impede his progress quite decisively, I think.
You know, Bezo, I don't feel sorry for him at all.
Why?
I think it's 2 pretty good acting jobs, quite honestly. A trip. He ought to get up. When I played for Outer Mongolia back in the 60s, I got up on my first chance I could.
Oh, I knew you did a good job sharpening the skates for the team back then, Matt. Oh, I knew that was coming. It's controlled by Paul Willett. And he'll move it out at center ice. 3rd power play of the night for the Komets. They trail 2-1. And the Aeros trying to move it ahead for Mark Freer. Tell you what, Freer, he has himself no points, but he's got a lot of jump tonight. Freer turns at center and lost it at neutral ice. And across the line, McBain trying to get in there. Laniel poked it free. It's jammed behind the cage. Here's Konstantin Shafranov looking for Murphy, base of the right circle. Back to the line, too far for Straub. It'll go all the way down into the Fort Wayne zone. Out of the net, it's Peter Ing. And he'll leave it for Brian Straub. 14:24 to go in the second period. Houston 2, Fort Wayne 1. 1:11 remaining in the Valamont minor. And away the Komets come. Straub at the neutral ice area. Spins it ahead for Messier. Turning in front. Stops left side. Trying to get it down for Kevin Meehan. Rolls far side. Lamb is there, but Dupuis held it in. In there, Jim Pack trying to muscle it ahead. It's in skates, pried away, but there was Al Conroy to give it to Gord Donnelly, and he'll shoot it right back down the ice. 6 minutes gone in the second period. Arrows lead at 2-1 power play. Down to 45 seconds. Al Conroy lowering the boom, and he pushed Evans into the boards, and away comes Messier across the line. Messier spun off by Jim Pack, and looked like he was shot by a sniper trying to draw the penalty. Dupuis top of the slot. Shoots! Gamble, the blocker save. Puck to the near side for Yashin. Chip for Kevin Meehan. Behind the cage for Mitch Messier. Messier rolled it for Yashin. Base of the left circle. Oleg Yashin for Messier. Center, but blocked by Jim Pack. Nice defensive play there by Jimmy Pack. Pack working Messier in the corner. Chipped it along the boards to the line. Penalty down to 10 seconds. The shot by Dupuis right on. I think Campbell got a piece of it. If not, Donnelly was the one who stepped in front. And the Arrows shoot it down. And that'll do it for the Fort Wayne power play as there's just 2 seconds remaining to Carl Valamont. Puck clear to center as Valamont jumps out on the ice after the penalty is over. Jakes rolled it ahead. It hit the linesman, but Yo trying to fire it ahead. Arrows making changes. Andy Bezo gave it away to DiPietro. He turns, can't center it, and it's jammed behind. Chased down by Slivchenko. Reversed for Yo. It is Mike Yo, base of the left circle for DiPietro. Trying to cut it back along. Jakes along the left side. Jakes trying to find a man to pass to, but it was chipped away. Willett in a battle with Slivchenko. Here is Jakes teetering the blue line and a breakaway for Chris Talk. Talk's in alone on Gamble. Waste shoots. Oh, great save by Gamble. And then the rebound is stopped by Gamble. Oh, my. Troy Gamble doing unbelievable. He is down. We'll see if he's all right when we return. 12 and a half to go in the second. Houston 2, Komets 1. We'll be back after this.
12:33 remaining in the second period of play. The Arrows lead the Komets by the score of 2-1. And first thing Troy Gamble did when he got up, Mike, was check his teeth because he took a couple of shots to the head on those great saves.
He did, and the result of that, what began that was a pocket pick there as Talk walks in all alone, and Gamble has to come up big with a save. But then in the rebound there, it looks like Bezo gives him an atomic knee drop to the head right there. And Gamble eventually covers the puck up, and he's okay.
No, that was the figure 4 leg lock, wasn't it?
I like you guys. You like wrestling.
I didn't say that.
But you're mentioning wrestling terminology.
Here is Carl Valamont trying to get it out of there. Can't do it. Puck centered. The shot. Score! It was in there by Andy McBain. A great pass from Murphy. And this hockey game is tied at 2.
Well, Murphy makes a great feed as they turn, the puck's turned over, and one thing is Fort Wayne transition game worked really well for them as they turned it from from defensive to offensive really quick as the puck's fed right in front of McBain. McBain makes no doubt about it. What a shot that is. And I tell you what, as they say on the ice there, that's a goal in any league because that one was right up inside the post. Murphy to McBain, goal, and we have a tie game.
Puck shot into the Houston zone. It's a 2-2 game. Bezo near side. Donnelly trying to chip it free, but Messier is in there. He's out there with Bezo and Meeum. Puck shot to the line, and it's finally cleared out at center ice. Aeros not able to get anything going in this period, partially because they've been shorthanded for a few times. Now at center ice, it's chipped ahead. McCrory trying to move it along. It is Scott McCrory for Mark Freer. Across the line, hit by Straub, dropped it for Arneal. Scott Arneal, who picked up his 600th career point the other night against the Komets, dropped it for Packer, shot block, rebound, chipped by McCrory, just over. I think Ing got a shoulder on it, and then the Aeros have to go back at center ice and regroup. 11:34 to go in the second period, a 2-2 hockey game. Peter Ing behind the net for Brian Straub. Straub will turn it from right to left for Bezo. Got it back, and now it is Kevin Meeum. Out at center ice, walks through Turgeon, brings it across the line. Here's Meeum cutting in. He centered it, but Jakes cleared it. Over for Mark Lamb. Get it to Conroy, too far. And Sean Evans is there, but he turned it right back to Jakes. Across the blue line he comes. Jakes streaking right side, shot from a sharp angle, stopped by Peter Ing. He will hold on with 11 minutes to go in the second period, 2-2 game.
Good job by the Aeros trying to turn this around really quickly. One of the big things after a goal is scored is whether you score the goal or whether the goal is scored against you. I think Terry Ruskowski wants his team to get out there and jump back on the Fort Wayne Komets and maybe get a quick one here.
Tomorrow night, the Aeros taking on the Milwaukee Admirals at 7 o'clock. Not only a game that you can hear on KPRC, but a game you can see on UPN 20, and we invite you to stay with us on that one. I'll tell you why. We're giving away some lovely parting gifts. We've got 3 watch-in wins going that night, some money, some tickets, and another little surprise I've got planned for everybody.
But no board games.
No
Houston Aero board game.
No, we don't have the board game. We do have a year's supply of Rice-A-Roni? Something I don't know.
The Houston Aeros Street, right?
There you go. It is controlled by Sean Evans. Got it to the line, not out. Turgeon trying to slip it down. Puck in the corner for Lamb. He's in there with Willett as a couple of 7. Skate to skate in the corner. Dug out Turgeon, belted by Dupuis. Good scrum in the corner. And who's going to emerge with that puck? Lamb in a good battle right now. Good grinded out battle. Turgeon topped it along the boards, and here is Al Conroy center. Turgeon shooting. Great save by Peter Ing as he got down on Turgeon and hold on. Sylvain Turgeon kind of doing the old sneaky one there. It was similar to a play he made, if you remember, against Indianapolis from behind the net when he finally gave one to Slivchenko for a goal.
That's one of Turgeon's strengths is he's so strong on the puck. He has someone all over him, but he still gets the puck away. He gets a good shot on goal, and Peter Ing has to be sharp. And watch how Peter Ing lays his stick down. This is a goal. This is a move that the goalies used to do way back when, and now goaltenders are adopting it again because it works so well in close. Goalies lay that paddle down, and it covers the lower part of the ice, and they make a lot of saves in that using that method.
Mike Yeo for Houston shoots it behind the Fort Wayne net. Ing slowed it for Chris Talk, dodging a check, and then the puck goes up and out of play right near where George Bush was sitting. I'm looking down there. I don't think he's still down there anymore, but that's where he was sitting in the first period. And fans got himself a little puck. Somebody go down there and get that for me.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm still very encouraged at this 2-2 tie because so much of this homestand has been trailing. You know, the third period has been so important for this team in their previous 4 or 5 games here at the Summit. Still very encouraged 2-2.
That's a very good point, Matt. And the Aeros in this one at 2-2. See if next goal will be a pivotal goal. In fact, this whole weekend, that's the key word, pivotal. As DiPietro shoots, hammered it just wide. It is pushed out at center. I guess we'll call that our buzzword for the weekend, pivotal. Because everything that happens is going to be very crucial. Across the line, it's Yo. Looks for DiPietro, cuts right in. Couldn't get the shot away as he was hooked on the play. And a penalty coming up to the Fort Wayne Komets. And I will say this, although the Aeros are 1 of 5, I believe it is, on the power play coming into their 6th opportunity, things are starting to look encouraging. They showed signs the other night against Fort Wayne. They're showing some signs tonight as Mike Yo is going to draw 2 minutes to Chris Talk.
And he draws it because he drives to the net at him. And you know, actually compliments to both teams. Both teams are driving to the net. You saw Bezo going into the net because he drove there. And now Mike Yo getting a good opportunity. Hey, Talk had he had to pull down Mike Yeo, or there'd have been an excellent scoring chance there.
I think Troy Gamble may have gotten his bell rung a little bit more. He's talking to Jerry Mines, and I don't know if he was giving him smelling salts, vitamin C, a bite of his roast beef submarine sandwich or what, but Troy Gamble, I don't know if he's 100% right now.
Well, I think something else that when people come piling into your crease, you get a spray of snow in your face, and he might have got some in his eyes. I mean, that's no fun either, but he's staying in there. He's sticking with it.
I'm sure he was asked, do you want to come out? And I think he wants to snap his losing streak in the baddest of ways. So I bet he'll be in there the rest of the game.
I don't even think that is even in the back of their mind at this point. He's in there for the long haul on this one. And I like the Aeros' chances with Troy Gamble in there. It is Mark Lamb. He'll turn it from left to right. Bring it out at center ice. Lamb across the Fort Wayne line. Arneal was in a little bit ahead of the play. That's a delayed offsides, and they'll bring the face-off to center ice. And that's been the problem we have seen if you look at that last rush, Greener. It just seems like one extra move, and they just throw their timing off, and they're kind of just standing around the blue line as opposed to everybody hitting it with speed.
Well, I mean, that goes to saying Terry Ruskowski wants guys moving their feet and skating even if you don't have the puck. That's where you create a play, and a guy like Mark Freer will hit you, or someone will hit him with a pass if they're moving their feet and skating fast.
Off the face-off, the Aeros have it. It's controlled by Mark Laniel, right side across the line. Laniel pulling up at the hash marks. Right wing boards, jammed it behind the cage, looking for DiPietro. Paul DiPietro with a golden eye to Lamb. One-time shot deflected right on. Wow! What a save by Ing as Arneal was in there to deflect that away. Puck jam behind the cage. It was Sergei Stas and Arneal going at it. Good battle, and then Arneal giving it to Stas, and then Darren Smith comes in there, and then Freer comes smoking in there like a pack of menthols, and finally it's tipped away. Lamb left side, back to Laniel, tees it up, centered. Oh, big save, rebound. Oh, my word, what a save by Peter Ing. Oh, man, some outstanding saves by Peter Ing. Oh, wow, it is Arneal, dropped it, DiPietro, centered. Stopped around, and it came behind the cage. Delayed penalty coming up to the Fort Wayne Komets. It is DiPietro, base of the right circle. Give it to Arneal. Sends it in. Here's Laniel. He waits. Shoots. It was blocked and tipped away. Wow, and now everybody getting into it. His stick's getting high. Arneal wanting in there. As Darren Smith wants it, Arneal.
It was about the same time Wednesday these two teams got after it again, a la 5-on-5 style. And Arneal has to be restrained by one of the referees.
And a great action down deep as the Aeros really controlled that last minute and a half, 2 minutes of play, 5-on-5. Wow, some great opportunities in front. The Aeros not able to find the mark, and I guess a couple of times they took a shot or they didn't take a shot, and they moved the puck a little bit too much and gave Peter Ing some more time to get back into the net. But Gamble, as we said before, is still at the bench. He must have really got his bell rung. Bizot's knee really hit him hard, but I mean, if you ever put on one of those masks, you know that they protect you very well. He might have got it up under the nose or in the chin and rung his bell. But going back to Peter Ing, he made some great saves. First of all on Arneal. Arneal, great hand-eye coordination there as he tips the puck, and Ing gets a piece of that one. And then a pass right across, and he gets his pad on this one as DiPietro just lets one burn. And on the rebound, and somehow Peter Ing got the rest of his pads over there. So a couple of great saves for Peter Ing to keep his team in a tie game, and he'll have to be sharp as the Aeros power play is starting to look a lot better, Adam.
Well, yeah, Peter Ing has been a factor in the second period, making some fine saves, and now face off at center ice. I got to tell you, I am a little concerned, Matt, about Troy Gamble, though.
Yeah, you said that there'd be no opportunity for him to come out. I don't know, this is scaring me, quite honestly, because he goes across the red line every time, goes over to Jerry Mines and gets his smelling salts, and being inactive for 30 or 40 seconds at a time, I'm sure is wearing on him.
Let me at least correct him. I didn't think there wouldn't be an opportunity. I just don't think they want him to come out. And they will, of course, if
he may be forced to, but
yeah, we'll see. Carl Valamont. He'll move it out at center ice for Mark Laniel. Power play down to 30 seconds. As I guess they even things up after that little fracas. There was going to be an Aero power play, and puck back at center ice, and it's controlled by Carl Valamont. He'll move it behind the net. He's watched by Murphy. Valamont shades off the check, and it's Al Conroy. Sends one over to Mark Laniel, turning left side. Hits the brakes and sends one to center ice for Al Conroy. Conroy dropped it for Turgeon. Turgeon busting down the left side, looks in front, rolled it along the boards. It was hammered by Dupuis and out at center ice. That's a two-line pass, though, and play is whistled down. 8:03 left in the second period. And this hockey game is tied at 2, and we'll take time out. We'll have more IHL action after this. For those of you watching on Prime Sports, Adam Gordon, Mike Greenlay, Matt Thomas, and Troy Gamble continuing to go on the bench, and now coming on the bench.
And I think he's coming right out, Adam. I don't see Dobson getting ready. He's sending him back out. I'm not sure what's going on here. Gamble appears to be all right. Or maybe he's sending him right off the ice. Yeah, he is. He's sending Gamble right off the ice. I'm not sure what's wrong with him. He's blinking his eyes a bit and shaking his head. Maybe he's a bit dizzy. Maybe he did get his bell rung. But now you'll see Dobson come on out. And Dobson so far on the year is played in 10 games. His average is 4.12. He's 3-4. Has an 87.8 save percentage. And
I'm going to make a prediction right now. You're going to see a Rob Dobson I don't think you've seen all year. I think this guy is going to stand on his lips, his head, his left aorta, everyone that I've thrown out. He's going to have no body parts left from it. This is a feeling I've got, folks. Dauber is going to have the game of his career right now.
In the heat of a battle right now in a 2-2 game.
Yes, they need it. It couldn't be at a better time. Will Gamble return? We'll see. We're taking another look again for those of you watching on Prime Sports at what this all started after Chris Talk took away a puck from Steve Jakes. Gamble poke-checked it, but then the big collision. And, you know, you might be right. I don't know if it's the knee to the eye or if it's all that ice that got in there.
Or it could be Steve Jakes' skate raked across him. So it could be a couple things. I'm not sure, and we'll find out as soon as we can.
Puck is at center ice, and it is controlled by Kevin Malgunas. Bring it across the line for McCrory, who shoots right on, and Petering with the save. In behind the net, McCrory trying to jam it ahead. Here's Mike Yeo. Yeo spin it down behind the boards, and it's Malgunas slammed off the puck, picked up by McCrory. Teams are at 5 aside, puck at the line, and it's turned around by the Fort Wayne Komets. Kevin Meehan, rink wide pass for a Messier. It was a bouncing puck. Jim Pack turned it around. Yeo got it out at center ice. Yeo handed over to Scott McCrory. Moves it across the line. McCrory, great move as he cut in, but it was too far, and it was jabbed away. Picked up by Kevin Wortman for Fort Wayne. He will hoist that high in the air, and that should score the runner from third as Donnelly picks up at center. Gets it over to Yeo. Rolled it back into the Fort Wayne end. Out of the net, Ing hands it over to Wortman. Watched by Conroy. Flipped it along the boards for Messier. It's chipped out at center, and Mark Laniel is back. 7:04 to go in the second period. 2-2 game. Again, Troy Gamble has left the game. We don't know why, but we're suspecting some kind of an injury to his eye or somewhere in his face. And we don't know if he can return. Will he return? We'll have to wait and see. Along the far boards, it's cleared out at center ice for Steve Jakes. Jakes hammered it into the Fort Wayne zone. Chris Talk is back, and he'll shoot it along the boards for Paul Ouellette. Ouellette get it out of neutral ice, and Jakes jumps up on the play. He's belted by Wortman, and Chris Talk is back. 6.5 to go in the second period. Puck shot all the way down the ice. Dobson forced to play it. That will negate the icing. Dobson turns it along the boards for Mark Lamb. Ahead for Turgeon. Turgeon trying to shake off a check. He couldn't get a shot away. Straub then hooked him down, and play goes right on. Well, if that isn't hooking or obstruction, I don't know what it is. And Turgeon giving it to the referee tonight, who is Rob Martell. I got to agree with Turgeon on that one. Now Lamb the other way. Turns in with a shot blocked by Ing. Aeros turn in front. Donnelly. Gord Donnelly trying to run it out in front. It was tipped behind him, and away the Komets come. They've got a 2-on-1. Ouellette with the action. Look out. Ouellette winding, shooting. Dobson. Great save. It's turned back as the Aeros can't clear. A shot drizzled behind the cage. Here's a stuff shot. Score! Paul Ouellette tucked it in behind Dobson. 3-2 hockey game. Komets lead it.
Paul Ouellette, it's his 7th goal on the year, and he did it to the Aeros last game with a goal and 2 assists. Tonight, it's his first goal of the evening as he wraps that puck around on Rob Dobson, and Rob Dobson trying to get his stick out there to block it, but Ouellette comes a little farther than Dobson thought, and he just wraps it farther at the back post, and he hits the opposite post and goes in the net. We'll have another look at it as Dobson doesn't get his stick out in time to block the shot, and right off the far post and in the net. That's another goal that the Aeros don't like to see scored, but a good job by Ouellette as he wraps the puck with authority off the far post.
And off the face-off, the Aeros have it. Jim Pack shoots it into the Fort Wayne zone. Petering out of the net to Slow. Ing jammed it near side. McCrory trying to kick it down. Aeros, who scored 2 goals, have given up 3 unanswered goals. It is McCrory. or make that 2 unanswered goals, excuse me. They'd scored 2 and now have relinquished 2. Puck goes into the Arrow end. After it, it is Alex Nikolic, jabbed away by Pack. Can Arneal get it out of there? No, it's Mark Freer, turned it out in front, but right to Nikolic. Tell you, the Arrows try so many of these no-look drop from behind passes, and it doesn't seem to have that much effect. And they're trapped in their own end. Jim Pack, get it to Arneal, not out, held in by the Komets. It is Nikolic trying to send one in there. McCrory blocked it, and he'll get it out at center ice. Freer, another pass for Arneal is blocked by Dupuis. That's been the story tonight. It's been the story all season. Freer just can't seem to find Arneal and vice versa. But here's a chance 2-on-1. Maybe they'll make me wrong as it was turned in front, but no, it was jabbed away. Tell you, last year that'd be at least a shot on goal, if not a goal. But this year, just isn't clicking between those two. McCrory near side, worked it down, and Sean Evans is there to hammer it along the boards, and it's out at center ice. Moving it up at center, it is Messier. It goes into the Arrow end, and back is Steve Jakes, pursued by Andy Bizo. Banked it up the boards and out at center ice, and Sergei Stas is there, pursued by Mike Yeo. Yeo bumps Stas, but Yeo was trapped in the zone. That is offsides, and play whistle down. 4:17 left in the second period. The Komets 3, the Arrows 2. We'll be right back.
.417 left in the second period. The Komets lead the Arrows, and the Arrows showing some pressure. Mark Freer maybe should have shot this one, as there was a back checker that got back and foiled the play. It was Murphy, as he broke up the play, and Arneal couldn't get a shot away.
Off the face-off, Arrows trail 3-2, and Laniel steers it into the Fort Wayne zone. 22-12. The Arrows out shooting the Komets. Fort Wayne, Andy Bizo chipped it out at center. Back goes Steve Jakes, and we're going to get a whistle. We're going to get a penalty. It's going to be on the Houston Arrows, and they are going to be shorthanded, trailing 3-2 with 4:03 to go. Matt.
Word from the locker room, folks, is that Troy Gamble got his bell rung, obviously, and said to the trainer Jerry Means that things are a little hazy out there. That's the reason why you have Rob Dobson out there.
And Dobson trying to get into this game, as he'll get tested right now as the Arrows go on the penalty kill, and Slivchenko sitting in the box. He'll sit for 2 minutes, and the Fort Wayne will have their 4th try of the night.
While we have a second, it's time for our Watch and Win contest. It's brought to you by your local Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers. Call right now at 777-5772 and identify this week's Arrows player. We'll give you the name and the winner at the end of the second intermission. And right at the start there of the third, Arrows shorthanded. 2 minutes as Vadim Slivchenko in the box, and that has been kind of the Arrow problem in this period. They haven't been able to get their offense started because they've spent a lot of this period shorthanded.
Third time in this period, right?
I think might be the 4th. Well, they say 0 for 3. Okay, you're right, Matt. I thought I had 4. I will never doubt you again. That's why I've got you here to keep an eye on me, as the Komets ice the puck, and it'll be back into the Fort Wayne zone. So it is questionable if Troy Gamble returns. So my question to you, Mike Greenley, is, are you going to be working with me tomorrow?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, first of all, Troy Gamble, unless you're knocked right out cold, you know he'll shake the cobwebs out tonight. Maybe have a good sleep, and he'll be back tomorrow, I'm sure. And you'll see, you might even see him starting again, depending on what the outcome of this game is. But going to the dressing room isn't a good sign. But then again, you always have to be careful.
Off the draw, it is controlled by Sean Evans, and he'll play the puck from in behind the net. 1:35 left in the Slivchenko minor. It is Evans, a pass at center ice for Dupuis, brings it across the Arrow line. Dupuis centered one. It was chip far side for Mitch Messier. Back to the line. It's rolled down low. In there is Kevin Meehan, trying to one-hand the puck out in front. It was chipped along the boards for Dupuis. And here's Oleg Yashin, base of the left circle. Yashin trying to get it back up to the line instead. Hands it over to Kevin Meehan. Meehan sets up left side, looks down low. He's got Messier camped in front. It goes to Oleg Yashin. Yashin steers to Meehan. He centered to Messier. It was blocked by Conroy, and now Conroy will gather in the puck and move it out to center ice. Conroy streaking down the left side, short-handed across the line with Mark Lamb. Conroy trying to cut in. He'll pursue to the near side with 50 seconds remaining in the Fort Wayne power play. Conroy in a battle near side, battling with McBain. Also in there, Sean Evans. He digs the puck out and turns it around. Over to Rob Murphy. Motors out at center ice. Forecheck by Freer and Arneal. Got it near side, but Jakes chipped it ahead. Jakes brings it across for Arneal. Looking for Freer. Dropped it. Jakes shooting. Ing stopped it. Rebound! shot. It was blocked, and another penalty coming up. And this one, a slash to the Komets, and the Aeros will go on the power play in 28 seconds, which is what remains to Slivchenko. 2:30 left in the second period. The Komets lead at 3-2.
Arneal had an assist last game against this team, but he can't seem to find the handle tonight as he's getting chance after chance, but the puck's either bouncing or he can't control it, or he's being hooked on the play, as he was here. Another good save by Ing, but he was being pulled on the play, and I think that'll even things up as Fort Wayne has Slivchenko 28 seconds left on that penalty.
You know, we're talking about Mark Laniel and how well he has played. We never got to his ice time in the first period. Are you ready for this one? 14 minutes, 6 seconds.
That's a
20-minute period, folks.
3/4 of the first period he was out there for. Hey, when something's good, you got to go with it.
Sure. Face off to the right side of Peter Ing. Freer Arneal with Pack and Vallimont will go 4-on-4 for 28 seconds. And the Aeros a minute 32 on the power play. Freer behind the Fort Wayne net. Freer looks in front. Freer playing peekaboo behind the cage. Centered one, but it was right to a Fort Wayne Comet. And they'll steer it out at center ice. Jim Pack at neutral. Rolled it into the Fort Wayne zone as the Komets are back. Ing slows, and Brian Straub is there. Komets work the breakout from right to left. Pass to the left wing boards for Kevin Wortman. Brings to center. Pass to Murphy too far, and Jim Pack turned it around to Mark Freer. He got behind the defense. Here's Freer in, shooting. Ing stopped it, and a penalty coming up to Fort Wayne.
And Adam, that'll put the Aeros 2 up on the power plays. They'll have a 5-on-3 with 2 minutes remaining in this second period.
Freer with a burst of speed there, going through 3 Komets.
Yeah, and that
he had to, obviously, that was one of those necessary, I've got to take him down before they score a goal against us. And here it is one more time.
He had about 3 sticks hooking him, and then he runs into Ing. And Adam, this couldn't be better for the Aeros as they go into this 2 minutes left in the period with a 5-on-3.
What is our buzzword tonight?
Pivotal.
Pivotal. It's a pivotal power play for the Houston Aeros. 5-on-3 for a minute 28. 1:58 left in the second period. So for all intents and purposes, the full 2 minutes of the power play on that penalty to Kevin Wortman.
You know, seeing these two teams for the last 2 nights, obviously the Aeros are a much quicker team. Obviously, on the other end, you've got the Komets a much more precision, especially when they're in their blue area.
Off the face-off, Aeros have it. 5-on-3 power play. Lamb, top of the slot, tees it up, shoots, stopped on by Ing, and he'll hold on.
Good idea by Lamb, feeding the puck in front. Conroy trying to tip that instead of trying to screen Ing. And that's what they're going to have to keep doing, is screening, so he can't see the shot.
You know, one thing I've noticed is that Ing has given up some rebounds, but no one's been in front, and I think that might have been what Lamb's thinking. We'll see if he tries it again. Lamb, top of the slot, steers it back. Lamb over to Laniel, pulls up, looks for the shot, cuts in, fan on the shot, but he got it over to Lamb. Mark Lamb waiting, here's Laniel, wine shoots, stopped by Ing, stick save, but he steered the rebound into the corner. But it came to a Fort Wayne Comet, they tried to clear it, could not do it, they fanned on it, break for the Aeros. It is Turgeon, get it to Laniel, right point, waiting, over to Lamb, top of the left circle. Mark Lamb, waiting, sends, Turgeon shoots, blocked in front. It came to Lamb along the left wing. Mark Lamb waits patiently, left side, 45 on the 2-man advantage, the shot stopped by Ing, and he will hold on. So Lamb again letting her fly. There's 43 seconds remaining in the Andy McBain minor, 1:16 left. In the penalty to Kevin Wortman, 1:13 left in the period, 3-2 Fort Wayne.
One thing Ing is very good at, and that is taking the puck into his body and freezing the rebound. Here he just challenges, and watch, he's going to butterfly when he comes back across. Here's the shot on Laniel, and it's tipped in front. And see how he butterflies and gets down low and covers that ice surface. Later on, he made a good save on Lamb as Lamb let a big slap shot go, and he was covering all that net. You got to either go high or low on this guy, anywhere in between, and he just sucks it up with his body.
Off the face-off, here's Lamb, rolls it to Laniel, right in, the shot blocked, loose in front, and the Komets able to clear it. It's back at center ice. Lamb pursued by Darren Smith, who takes the puck away, but Dobson chipped it away. It's controlled by Paul DiPietro. DiPietro at center ice with Freer and with Arneal. DiPietro across the line, dropped it for Mark Lamb. 50 seconds left in the period, 2-man advantage to 18 seconds. Laniel down for Freer. To the line, Laniel, here's Freer, waiting. No one to pass to, though. There's the one-time shot by DiPietro, no wood on it whatsoever. Mark Freer trying to chase it down near side. Freer to the line, held in by Lamb. Now the two-man advantage is over. Now it's 5-on-4. Laniel, top of the slot, walks in, winds, shoots. Ings stopped it, rebound. They bang away at it, and Ings got that, and they cover up and hold on.
Good pressure by the Aeros, but they just can't seem to get the puck through. I think what the Aeros are going to have to start doing is, instead of feeding it into the crowd to get the shot off a little quicker, they're holding the puck, and it gives everybody a chance to shift. As Laniel shoots it, and the rebound ends up in the crease, and eventually Ing will cover it, but when he got the puck, he hesitated, then he went in. I think if he'd have got a shot off right away, there'd have been a little more commotion and probably a better chance. You can see Terry Ruskowski just eagerly wanting a goal, but not able to get one on this power play so far.
I was going to ask you, Mike, in Adam's description tonight, he has said waiting. Is there a point where you wait too long to take a shot?
That's exactly what I was talking about. I mean, if you hold the puck, it gives the defenseman a chance to shift over, and it gives the goalie to get a chance to get back over. They got to sort of touch past the puck back and forth and get a quick shot off.
It's like a zone defense in a sense.
Exactly.
Aeros have 20 seconds left in the period, and maybe about 2 more seconds on the power play, so they got to do it here. Penalty killing outstanding for Fort Wayne, and Aeros trying to move it along the boards. Yo in there to try and dig it out. He's out there with McCrory, and now Conroy giving it to Rob Murphy. Here's Valamont with 3 seconds left in the period. He better let it fly. Deflected right on. Ing stopped it, and that's the period. So Valamont let it go. Peter Ing stopped it, and the Fort Wayne Komets, who trailed 2-1 after 1, pitch a shutout period, and boy, the reaction of Terry Ruskowski says it all.
Well, Adam, they came back, like you said, 2 unanswered goals. You don't want to give a team like Fort Wayne that, and Terry beside himself. 3-2 Komets.
All right, it's 3-2 Fort Wayne, and we'll have more right after this. Hockey game. The Fort Wayne Komets lead it after 2 periods of play. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay, and you know, it's amazing the way the momentum changed in that period.
It certainly is. I mean, they came out with 1:28 left on their power play, didn't do anything with it, although they did move it around well. And then after that, they got into penalty trouble, and that penalty trouble just slowed them right down. And that's pretty much how the period ended, except they get a 5-on-3 power play. And again, they couldn't do anything with it.
You know, and that's something I think we've seen a lot this year. I think the mark of a good team is if you take a couple of penalties, still be able to keep your momentum going into that period. I don't think we've really seen it that much this year when the Aeros take some penalties and get them into penalty trouble.
And not only on the penalty part, but on the goal scoring. When another team gets a goal, you want to turn around and score one back on them. But what happens with the Aeros is they usually end up getting 2 or 3 scored on them before they're able to do anything.
I think the story now is what's with Troy Gamble. We're told he has his bell rung, and here's why, Greener.
Well, it was a breakaway. Steve Jakes gives up something he normally doesn't give up, and that's a breakaway. And Talk just walks in. Gamble makes an excellent save on the play, but if you watch the players coming in, first of all, watch Jakes' skate, and there's Jakes' skate, and then watch Bizot, his knee. Boom, right on the side of the head. And Gamble wasn't expecting that, and it really rung his bell. Another look at the breakaway. Like I said, it was unfortunate to lose him. He was playing great, and he made a good save. But as the players came flying into the goaltender, I mean, Bizot got his knee in there, and Gamble complained about a little bit of a haziness and had to go off.
Now, when he got injured, it was already 2-2, and it was because of this goal right here.
Well, a good play here as the puck's turned over, and Murphy just feeds it to McBain. And McBain, look at where he puts it, right inside the post. I tell you what, an excellent goal. Not too much of a chance for Gamble on that one.
Third of the year at 7:42. The game was tied at 2. Gamble, the injury that you just saw, and then this tough goal to Ron Dobson.
Well, Dobson came in, he's cold, and he gives up one that he normally wouldn't. Willett makes a good play as he feeds it across the net and puts it off the far post, but normally Gamble would have his stick on it. Dobson would. Dobson very strong on his stick, just doesn't get it out in time, and Willett just wraps it. That's his 2nd goal in 2 games for Willett.
I want to ask you, you look at the power play in the first period, and we were very encouraged. In fact, I think on that bottom valuation, the overall valuation, everything was pretty well a yes or a plus for the Houston Aeros. What did you think in the 2nd period for the couple of power plays that they had?
I thought they didn't move it around as well, but I thought they still showed a lot of good pressure, and I think they just need to keep shooting it more. When they get the pass, they're holding it a little too long. I think they need to fire it on goal a little quicker.
All right, it's 3-2. The Fort Wayne Komets leading the Houston Aeros after 2 periods. When we return, we'll look at the stats. We'll be right back. The mighty sounds of Ronnie Renfro's big band singing and dancing. And look at the fans as we look at it, the right of them, their left, they're going nuts. They're going, yes, Greener, we love you. Greener, you're the best. Oh, Greener. Oh, okay, no, it's the Ronnie Renfro band. But it's 3-2, the Komets leading the Houston Aeros. And we'll take a look at tonight's second period stats brought to you by your local Texas Jeep and Eagle dealers. 30-12, the Houston Aeros leading in the shots on goal department. And that is a scary stat in the sense that the Komets with just 12 shots on goal, that's only 9 saves amongst Gamble and Dobson. Aeros 1 of 6 on the power play. Komets 0 for 4. Face-offs 30-20 in favor of the Houston Aeros. 9 penalties for 21 minutes for the Fort Wayne Komets. The Aeros 6 penalties for 15 minutes. And we see ourselves at a 3-2 hockey game, and crowd of, I'd say, around 10 or 11,000 enjoying this one. And, you know, the Aeros gave up a goal back in the first period as we look at the scoring summary, and it was Andy Bezo that started it off. And its summary is brought to you by Columbia Healthcare Systems. Andy Bezo at 7:09 unassisted, getting the goal, and it started the Komets on the way, but the Aeros came back. Paul DiPietro getting the goal at 8:51 from Slivchenko and Valamon, and then Al Conroy from Slivchenko and Turgeon at 10:10. But so far, like the sounds of Paul Simon and Simon and Garfunkel, the sounds of silence have ranked through the Aero offense in the second period, as it was both Fort Wayne Komet goals. Andy McBain at 7:42, Paul Willett at 14:16 from Konstantin Shafranov, and it is 3-2 in favor of the Fort Wayne Komets. And I'll tell you, it's great to see the fans out here. And, you know, we asked Matt Thomas earlier about, you know, hey, this is a 5-11 hockey team, but the fans seem like they're having a good time, and that's encouraging.
It certainly is, because it's such an exciting sport. I hope more fans come out.
All right, 3-2, the Komets lead. We'll announce our watch and win winner plus third period action after this. 3-2, the Fort Wayne Komets leading the Houston Aeros. Back in the summit, Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay and Matt Thomas, and it's time to reveal who our featured Aero player is. It is Miles O'Connor, a scratch tonight, but he's got a goal and 4 assists for 5 points just in his last 16 games, or excuse me, that was in 16 games last year. He's played very well with 7 assists this year, and he was signed by the Aeros on August 30th in 1995. Enjoys working on his 65 Mustang. Our winner, who quickly identified Miles O'Connor, is Joe Don Raybird of Pasadena, Texas. And Joe Don has won a trip for 2 to Las Vegas to see the Aeros play the Thunder. That's next weekend, I believe, and we'll stay at the Imperial Palace Hotel. Remember to stop by our local Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, Jeep, and Eagle dealers tomorrow to see the next featured Aeros players. And as a matter of fact, it is our last of the featured Aeros, and we will announce it on our next telecast, which will be Wednesday when the Aeros come back. Wednesday, the Aeros taking on the Orlando Solar Bears right here at the summit. Greener, I know you will be here, and we will have a special guest color announcer, but I'm not going to say anything because this is a real special. Matt, we like you, but the guy we've got, and you know who it is, and I don't want you to say it, but
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing a preface here.
Yes, we've got ourselves a very special color announcer that's going to step in with us and make us all look good.
And I'm sorry, Matt, but I like him better because he's played a little bit of goal.
Yes, he's an excellent. This guy we're having in, he's a big name.
You know, I came over here on my off night. I have a Saturday morning show at 6 o'clock, and I get this kind of treatment around from you guys.
Better now in front of our big audience as opposed to tomorrow when we're not there to give it to you.
That's right. Well, Mike's got his arm around me. I think he wants to be pals again. You know, guys, I was very encouraged in the first period of this game. The 2-1 lead. All the memories, I guess, of Wednesday night were erased for the time being, and then all of a sudden, the second period, I should say, with Gamble's injury, and just it seems like all of the steam has been deflated because at this point, this team is just kind of running around a little bit, not has the same energy, doesn't have the same force. Gamble obviously wanted to come back and win this game because he feels like he needs to show something to the audience, and it's just kind of disappointing and look at the fans going here because they were very excited after the first period.
Well, right now, there's fresh 20 minutes up on the board, and we start the third period. Aeros trail 3-2. They dump the puck into the Fort Wayne zone. Strop bumped by Arneal. Freer trying to turn it down, but the Komets able to roll it out at center ice. Andy Bezo got it into the Aero end. Jakes chased it down. Jakes turning behind the net, and then he reversed it for Mark Laniel. You want to hear ice time, folks? Laniel 14:06 in the first period. 15:01 as the puck slides up along the near side. 15:01 to Laniel ice time. That's 29 minutes, nearly half a hockey game he's played. And we've only gone through 2 periods. Here's McCrory the other way, gives to Jake, shooting high and wide of the net. And then Jake's lost an edge, crashed and burned in the corner, and the Komets clearing out at center ice. Aeros can't complain about a lack of chances. They've had them. They got to hit the net there. Laniel rolled it into the Fort Wayne zone. Dupuis back to play. He's pursued by Conroy. Dupuis moving it from left to right. Dupuis, long pass at center ice, swept by McBain into Aero territory. Donnelly is there for Lamb. Bumped by Shafranov. Now it is Turgeon. Give it to Conroy. Right side, winding, shooting, and he was high and wide with that blast. And it's Andy McBain near side. Getting out to center ice. And it is Rob Murphy across the line. Murphy looks for the pass. Dropped it back. Here's the drive by Evans. Ricocheted wide. McBain pinching right side. Steers it down low for Shafranov. Turgeon chipped it away. It came back to Shafranov. As Murphy and Turgeon going in it behind the net. Puck near side. Shafranov in a battle with Donnelly. They continue to go at it along the boards as Pack shoves his man in there. And it is picked up by Jim Pack and chipped down the ice. Icing indicated as Dupuis goes back, and this will be an icing call as Dupuis touches with 18:15 or make it 18:16 to go in the third. 3-2 the Fort Wayne Komets.
You know, Adam, you mentioned chances, and so far this evening, you look at some of the chances that some of the top players in the Aeros have. Arneal has had 5 shots on goal after 2 periods. Freer has had 5 shots on goal. Laniel has had 4, and Turgeon with 3. So you have some pretty good players there with some chances. I think if they keep it up and they keep getting some chances, they'll be able to put some points on the board, which will make Terry Ruskowski very happy.
And there's the man with a lot of ice time, Mark Laniel. Oh, man.
As far as he can walk, Adam.
Well, he doesn't have to. He can skate, barely. I'll tell you, no, that kid can really wheel. Oh, man.
And you have to ask yourself, is that going to be a factor? Because there's 3 games in 3 nights here, Adam.
Ton of ice tonight, and tomorrow night against Milwaukee, Sunday against Minnesota. Puck was centered. Here's chance for Yeo, but he had to roll off his stick, and the puck caromed away. Slivchenko with 2 first period assists, got it down to DiPietro. Over to Yeo, jumped off his stick, but Slivchenko with a chance, hooked on the play. Down he went, and a penalty coming up to the Komets. Yashin gathers it in, and Slivchenko will draw the hooking minor to one of the Komets, and the Aeros with another chance on the power play. You know, this is a team that had a 5-on-3 at the end of the second period, and that's got to be somewhat frustrating, not even getting one by Peter Eng. But here's another chance as they're going to be back on the power play with about a little over 2 minutes gone in the third period, and they're down a goal, chance to tie.
Well, here we'll have a good look at the penalty as Slivchenko gets a good opportunity with the puck, but he's hauled down, and I think it's Yashin, did you say, is going to the box for hooking, and good job by Slivchenko driving to the front of the net again for the loose puck, and I think that's what the Aeros are going to have to do on their power play is get the shot, get someone in front, and get someone jumping on that rebound.
Face-off controlled by the Fort Wayne Komets. And it is Sergei Stas to shoot it all the way down the ice. Into the Aero goal. It is controlled near side by Lamb. Mark Lamb jammed it behind for Laniel. And Laniel will move it from right to left. Mark Laniel moving out at center ice. Pass to the right side, Freer. Trying to move it across the line. Freer ridden off by Mitch Messier. It's chipped along the boards and cleared right back down the ice. If you're just joining us, Dobson out of the net. He's replacing Troy Gamble, who was shaken up in that second period, and Gamble did not return to the ice just to sit on the bench. So a little bit of concern. We'll have, I'm sure, more answers tomorrow. Puck along the boards for Lamb. Lamb bumped off the puck, and it is shot all the way down the ice. Dobson comes out to slow. Dobson hard off the boards out at center. Aeros couldn't play it. It would have been a 2-line pass. McBain, left side, Evans shoots Dobson. Nice left-hand save. And here is Paul DiPietro. DiPietro turning near side with a minute remaining on the power play. And he's just going for a little skate right now. And his team on the power play, trying to find a breakout. Slivchenko, right side with Conroy. Shoots it in, but not very hard. So Ing able to slow it. And it's turned by the Fort Wayne Komets. Dupuis. He'll chip it along the boards, and it's back out at center ice. Steve Jakes at his own blue line. Don't think there are going to be a lot of yeses on your power play analysis here, Mike. Pocket center ice for Slivchenko. Right side across the line. Trying to look out in front of his jabbed away. Komets turn. Can they clear? Oh, yes, they can. They've got a 4-on-1. Count them. Every Komet on the ice. Evans winding, shooting, and he hammered it wide. It was a bouncing puck, and the Aeros turn it around. Power play down to 17 seconds. DiPietro dropped it. Jakes back. DiPietro right in. He turns, centered. Oh, Slivchenko, a marvelous chance. And he hammered it wide. Oh, man, it's like falling off a camel and missing the sand. He had a wide open chance, and it's Jim Pack. Right side, DiPietro. Jammed it down into the near corner. It's picked up by Yeo. Shouldered by Turgeon trying to get in there. And the Komets turn it around. Kevin Meehan is the penalty down. Teams at 5 aside. Meehan across the line. Found a pass over to the left side. Workman hammered it wide of the net. It's rolled along the far boards. Picked up by Yo. Cleared to center, and it's Mark Lamb trying to bring it ahead, but Workman was back pursued by Lamb. Trying to get it out of the zone. It came to Turgeon. Overskated the puck, and the Fort Wayne Komets have got it out at center. Messier across the line with Bezo trying to cut in, and Thompson will clear it, but right over to Messier. They battle for the puck. It came down for Jim Pack. 15-10 to go. Third period. 3-2 hockey game. The Komets lead it. Right side, center ice, Yo. Steers it into the Fort Wayne zone. Ing slowed it, and he reversed it along the boards. It is picked up by Rob Murphy. Murphy at center, brings it across the line, dropped it back. Bezo shooting right on, and Dobson holds on. And we take time out. 3-2, the Fort Wayne Komets lead it. We'll be back after this, but first, a word from Southwest Airlines. It's a 3-2 hockey game. The Fort Wayne Komets leading the Houston Aeros. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay and Matt Thomas. And Matthew, you came in, and I know you said you were extremely concerned, a little nervous doing this, but now, what's your thought? You've done 2.5 periods here. How do you like this?
Well, I feel like I can jump out there right now, put the skates on, and score 4 or 5 goals in the next 2 games. Because there's a grueling road trip coming up for you guys. You'll be in Milwaukee tomorrow night and Minnesota on Sunday. But really, those games are in the back of their minds right now, trying to get a victory tonight here in the Summit.
Absolutely. Off the face-off, Komets have it, turning in the Aero zone. Yashin shakes off a Freer check, steers near side, centered one. Here's the shot, and Dobson with the save, and he will hold on. Darren Smith let the backhander go, and I think Rob Dobson wants matters back in his own hands after that soft Willett goal. He's played well.
That was a bizarre shot there.
It was
literal back.
As Smith gets it on the backhand, and Smith didn't have the time to turn it around. A good play by Yashin to feed him, but Dobson covers the lower half of the ice and takes it right on the Aero crest and holds on for the face-off.
Face-off to the right side of Rob Dobson. 32-22, Aeros in the face-off department. Drop of the puck. It's controlled by Donnelly, steers it near side Yo, and he'll bring it out at center ice. Yo bumped by Darren Smith, got it deep into the Fort Wayne zone. Ing slows it. Sergei Stas rolled it along the boards. Aeros trying to come with it. It's Slivchenko. Jammed it for DiPietro. Base of the right circle. Paul DiPietro and Slivchenko trying to dig it out. DiPietro's got it. Base of the right circle. DiPietro to the line. Donnelly winding, shooting, and he hammered it wide of the net. Jimmy Pack held to the left point. Sends it back down low, but Brian Straub has the bouncing puck in his skates. Yo comes smoking in there, trying to tip it away, but Straub's got it. Straub up the right wing to center ice for Paul Willett. He's got a goal in the hockey game, shoots it into the Aero end. Dobson slows. And it's Gord Donnelly with 6 minutes gone in the third period and a 3-2 Komet lead. Gord Donnelly, right side, hard off the boards. This will be an icing call. And back to play is Guy Dupuis. And you know, Matt, coming up in January, the IHL All-Star Game is coming to Houston. I'm sure you've got some information for us.
Yes, Adam, 3 fun-filled days featuring a Friday night extravaganza with the 80 U.S. Olympic team versus the 1974 AFCO Cup champion Houston Aeros, plus a concert. And the weekend also includes a golf tournament, a kids anti-gang rally, and Ice Fest, a festival featuring a card show, autograph sessions, Adam Gordon, and interactive activities.
Oh, I'm not
I
going
have that part in there.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
Most importantly, January 12th to the 14th, tickets are on sale now at all Ticketmaster locations and the Summit box office.
I think I'm at a bake-off that day or something.
Bring me the brownies back. Part of my payment tonight.
Oh, brother.
Did we get paid for this?
You're not?
There's the puck shot back to the line. Dupuis moving down the right side. Oh, snuck one in there. That ricocheted off a skate, Greener, and I think that puts a little cringe on you as you know the goalie. That's the last thing you need is a puck changing direction like that.
Especially a little floater like that, because it seems to handcuff you and you're watching it. But Dobson able to squeeze the pads on the play, and then there's a little rough stuff in front of the net. As this is still just a 1-goal hockey game, Adam. There's a lot that could happen. All we need is a little bit of offensive threat by the Aeros, and it could be a tie game all of a sudden. But Dupuis taking a shot, it deflects off someone's shin pad, and Dobson had to be sharp as it deflected right towards his 5-hole, but he drops down and smothers the puck and does a good job keeping his eye on it. 3-2 Fort Wayne. Face off to the left of Rob Dobson.
Mark Lamb out there with Kevin Malgunas and Al Conroy. Defensively, Valamont and Jakes. Off the face-off, Komets have it in skates. Lamb trying to pick it free. It came to the line. Dupuis a shot and a glove save made by Dobson, and he'll play it himself. Chipped it along the boards for Mark Lamb. Can't get it out of the zone. Aeros have spent some time back there right now. Shafranov rolled it down low, but it's pushed by Lamb. Can't get it through the skates of Rob Murphy. Puck center, knocked away, and Balamont off to the races. 3-on-2 if he hurries. Gets it to Malgunas off his skate and down into the Fort Wayne zone. Out of the net, Peter Ing. Knocked free by Malgunas. It came out in front, and Rob Murphy was there. Murphy hooked by Lamb. They go at it along the boards. Chipped by the Komets out at center ice. Jakes goes into the Fort Wayne end with 12:50 to go in the third. A 3-2 hockey game. Komets lead it. It's Sean Evans. Shoots it all the way down 200 feet to Rob Dobson. And Jim Pat is back in behind the net, playing peekaboo with Messier. Brings it out from right to left. Pat steers one near side Arneal. He's got McCrory cutting down the right side. He shot one in, but it was blocked by Wortman. Cleared to the line and out at center ice. Gord Donnelly is there. Shoots it into the Fort Wayne zone. It is Chris Tuck along the board. Pinched by Freer. Freer went without the puck. Gloved and picked by McCrory. Shot it right to a Fort Wayne Komet. And it's down at center ice. Andy Bizzo shoots it in, and wow, was hammered by Arneal right in front of the referee, and they're going to call elbowing on Scott Arneal. And the Komets are going to be on the power play, and we'll bring it to you when we return. Komets 3, Aeros 2, 12:08 to go. Along with Mike Greenlay, Matt Thomas, Adam Gordon with you. 3-2 hockey game. Scott Arneal in the box for roughing. And the Aeros shorthanded. Not what they need at this juncture of the hockey game, Mr. Greenlay.
Well, it's not what they need, but the one thing they have been successful on thus far is penalty kill. They have killed 4 so far. This is the 5th power play for Fort Wayne tonight, but you still don't want to give any momentum to a team that's already leading, Adam.
Off the draw. Puck controlled by the Komets, but shot out in front, and it's blocked by Yo, and he will clear it to the line and out at center ice. Komets lead at 3-2, 150 remaining in the Arneal minor. 11:54 to go in the third period. Oleg Yashin at center ice. A pass brought in by the Komets, but Darren Smith couldn't advance it. Dobson tries to clear, cannot. Paul Willett. Willett, base of the right circle, trying to get it down low. Smith had it taken away by Jakes. It came out to the line. Wortman held it in. And now Willett steers it over to Wortman. Back to the left side. It's Brian Straub to Wortman. Winding, shooting, stopping is Dobson. Rebound in front. And Dobson stopping again, and he'll hold on. So Rob Dobson holding his ground on the rebound. And the Komets still lead 3-2. 1:21 left in the Arneal minor.
Wortman getting a good shot from the point there. He has 3 goals and 7 assists this year so far. And a good shot gets right through as Dobson has to be sharp. Good screen shot, and even maybe a little bit of a deflection by Darren Smith, but Dobson covers up the rebound, and Willett right in there sniffing around, doesn't get a chance to knock it into the net.
Give Dobson a lot of credit so far this evening, like a relief pitcher that has to go in for an injured pitcher on the mound. He had to go in with basically no warm-up time at all, and has done a pretty nice job for the Aeros.
Yeah, after the Willett goal, he's settled down and playing a good game.
Very good shot by Willett. I mean, in the back left-hand corner. Hard to get to.
Off the face-off, Komets have it. Back to the line, Sean Evans. Steers it along the left side for Andy McBain. McBain rolled one to the right side for Dupuis. It rolled off his stick. Conroy trying to get it out of there. It was centered. Oh, and a nice play by Jim Pack to get over there at the last second and thwart that scoring chance. And then Dupuis can't hold it in. Conroy rode it out at center ice. Power play down to a minute 2 for Fort Wayne. Back is Sean Evans in his own end. Evans getting set. He'll roll it out to the right side for Dupuis. Lead pass for McBain goes deep into the zone. Back is Donnelly. That is icing with 11 minutes to go in the third period. 50 seconds remaining rather in the Arneal minor.
Getting back to what you're talking about on Dobson coming in cold. That's one thing that goalies have to do in hockey is come in cold. You don't have a bullpen. You don't go back in the back hallway and have someone shoot pucks at you. So yeah, you essentially have to come in cold. So that's why they say that as far as goaltending is concerned, you have to be mentally prepared at all times.
And I'm sure we were talking about Mark Laniel and his increased ice time. You want to know why it's so high? Back in the first period, well, you haven't seen Kevin Grant. Took a puck off the ankle. He may not play this weekend.
And that would be unfortunate for him, as he's already missed quite a few games with a thumb injury, and now with an ankle. We haven't had a report back, but we'll try and find that out for you as well.
Well, Todd Schrock, the media relations director, came up, gave me that report. They don't know the total status on his ankle, but right now he's done tonight, and they don't know the status on the weekend. Here is a pass out at center ice for Murphy, too far, and they'll blow that dead with 10:45 to go in the third. Comets lead 3-2 and 37 seconds left in the Arneal Minor.
But that's one thing, and I guess you lose someone like Grant, who's played well since he's been back. But you see Miles O'Connor will come back. That's one thing the Aeros have, is a lot of defensemen, a lot of experienced defensemen. So they are able to fill up that spot. Of course, Curtis Hunt is out as well. So, you're able to fill that spot with someone that's definitely played before.
Off the face-off, Komets have it. They've got 35 seconds left on the power play. Sean Evans in behind his net. He'll move it from left to right. Evans steers one out to the left side for Dupuis. Shoots it into the Aeros zone. Dobson could not slow. Shafranov let it come to the point. Held right point. Evans turned it down, but Mark Lamb was there. Can they get it out of there? No. Second effort, Conroy along the boards. He was chopped down. Couldn't clear the zone. Lamb trying to get it out of there, and he does. Out at center ice. It is controlled by Rob Murphy across the line. Center, Shafranov shooting upstairs, and it was high and wide, and we've got another penalty. This one to the Houston Aeros. They're going to be shorthanded again, and Donnelly will play it. And play whistle down. We are going to have slashing to the Aeros. And before we get to that, I want to remind everybody that our next prime telecast coming up Wednesday right here at the Summit. The Aeros taking on the Orlando Solar Bears. Our first look at the Solar Bears, a game you can see right here on Prime Sports and here on KPRC Radio. And Mike Greenley, this is a different Orlando Solar Bear team than what we saw at the start, or we haven't seen, but what we've heard about at the start of the year because of one man, Hubie McDonough. That is, I think, the biggest acquisition they have made, and maybe the biggest acquisition anybody's going to make this year.
Well, that certainly was in blockbuster proportions on that trade, as Hubie McDonough does go to Orlando. And yeah, that's really strengthened up their forward line and naturally weakened LA's.
Off the face-off, the Komets have it down along the boards. Kevin Meehan trying to get it out of there. Scott Arneal near side tried to move it along, and he will bounce it out at center ice. So the Aeros kill off one penalty, but now they're back shorthanded. And again, we're seeing the discipline bug bite them back when we saw it like we did in the first of the season. Freer getting into it along the boards with the Ashen. Freer gives it to Arneal. Shorthanded, winds, fakes the shot. Here's Laniel, tees it up, shoots. Sparkling in the net with a great save, and he will hold on.
And he had to be careful with that one too, because Laniel didn't get all the wood on it, and that puck was fluttering. And sometimes those end-over-enders, it's like a knuckleball, but Ing holds on to that one and makes sure. Freer moving in there really close to try and get what would he want would be a rebound, but Ing doesn't give one up. And Ing hasn't been spectacular, but he's at times made some really good saves. And he's been consistent at worst.
Was it Cape Breton you played with him?
Yes, he played in Cape Breton. I played with him for a while there, and he's moved around. He's played in Las Vegas, and now he finds himself at Fort Wayne.
Puck is out at center ice, and it's shot ahead, but back into the Aero zone. And Jakes will just hammer it right down to Peter Ing, and that scooted by, and Ing didn't see it coming behind him, and DiPietro nearly sniffed that one out. Here come the Komets. That could have been a big turning point. Puck goes into the Aero end. Dobson out of the net to try and clear. Banking off the boards to the line. Left the open net. Boy, I'll tell you, he's gotten burned once already this year in Cleveland. Nearly got caught there. I like him when he's aggressive, but just got to make sure he gets that puck out of harm's way. Puck to the near side. Banked out at center ice, and Brian Straub is there. Straub, neutral ice, turned it left to right, rolled it right side. Yashin can't find the handle. Yo shoots it back into the Fort Wayne zone. Penalty down to 47 seconds, 8:53 to go in the third. Komets lead it 3-2. In behind the net, Straub. From left to right, he comes. Straub, pass out center ice, too far for Murphy. Chased down by Lamb. Aeros take over, and Donnelly hammered it right back down the ice. 8:40 to go in the third. 3-2 hockey game in favor of the Fort Wayne Komets. They've got half a minute on their power play. From left to right again, they will try it. It is Sean Evans meandering a pass to Guy Dupuis. Left side, across the Aero line, he will come. Dupuis pulled up, looks for the pass. Dupuis at the hash marks. Left side, he's got Shafranov in front. Sets up the power play for another 15 seconds. Evans, the shot stuck aside by Dobson. Yo trying to get it out of there, can't do it. They bang away at it, and down is Murphy behind the cage, looks in front, sends it back near side. Evans steers one into Dobson. He will glove it and then play it himself. Look at him go. He wants to join the rush. Puck came to the near side. He got it out, and now Conroy, if he can get there, won't though, as Peter Ing comes out of the box. Rolled it near side. Sean Evans nearly poked away. In fact, it was by Freer looking for Conroy. Conroy could not center it though. They battle near side. Mark Freer trying to get it in there. They continue to joust, and play halted with under 8 minutes to go in the third. Komets 3, Aeros 2. We will be right back.
Komets lead the Aeros 3-2 with 7 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in the third period. And Mike, I've been watching this hockey team for a better part of 2 seasons now, and I still notice in the power plays, both for Fort Wayne and for the Houston tonight, it seems instead of pressing, they're like slowing things down a little bit, being more meticulous in terms of what they're going to shoot.
Well, they're trying to make sure they make the right pass, and in certain situations, that's causing them a little bit of troubles. It gives the other team a chance to force you a little more.
I would think you would simply want to do more because you have the numbers.
Well, and that's true. I think the Aeros have to utilize that extra man on their power play in order to be successful. They started to do it early, but
Here's a puck that was shot on, and Petering makes 2 more great saves. Komets turn it around, 3-on-2. Willett across the line, dropped it. Here's the chance, the shot. Dobson bobbled it, rebound, and he covered it up. Dobson had it, lost it, got it back. It's almost, wow, good thing he held on to that.
it did. It was a bouncer, and good play by Willett to give it back to Wortman, who feeds it over to Darren Smith, and I think it hit the bottom of Dobson's blocker, and it dropped right down into his glove and then down onto the ice. And it's a good thing for the Aeros that they had 2 or 3 players around the front of the net to help Dobson corral that puck.
Face off right side of Dobson. 10 saves in spell of Troy Gamble. And it is Paul DiPietro against Paul Willett. Top of the puck. Komets have a good drive, and it's tipped away. And back is Jimmy Pack. Rolled it near side with 7:25 to play. In the near side, Turgeon. Give it to DiPietro. So it's always like when things aren't going right, go back to your home line, and it's Turgeon with DiPietro and Slivchenko. At center, Turgeon rolled it into the Fort Wayne zone. Ing will slow it. And back is Darren Smith. Smith turning near side, bumped by DiPietro. It's chipped to the line and out at center, but then brought back in, and DiPietro's got it. DiPietro trying to sidestep a check, cannot, and the Komets not out. Held in, Donnelly. Bumped off the puck, Slivchenko to Turgeon. Turgeon turning, Sylvain Turgeon looks centered. Here's the chance, and it was swept away. Komets holding on the puck, centered, and it was tipped away. Well, again, it's Turgeon rather. Turgeon in the corner, wrapped up, and it's DiPietro cutting in, and he tried to get a shot away. He was being hooked, couldn't get a good shot loose, and Yashin just clears it. Boy, I'll tell you what, that's like hanging over a big chasm with a rope, and the rope is greased, and you just are holding on for your dear life. Kind of like the coyote with the Roadrunner standing on the other side. And he's got himself a knife trying to cut the bridge here on. Now the puck is turned around. It is Stas trying to muscle it ahead. Loose puck gobbled up by the Fort Wayne Komets. Messier rolled it to Miem. It goes into the Aero end. 6:15 to go. It's a 3-2 hockey game. Komets lead it. Jakes, right side. Yo, get it to Lamb. Across for Conroy. Hits the line. Conroy bumped off the puck, but got it to Lamb. Mark Lamb turning base in the left circle. Chipped back by Yo. Looking for Lamb. He's got Conroy in front. Conroy shooting. Oh, right pad save made by Petering. It is turned by Stas and out at center. 3-on-2 the other way. It is Andy Bizzo. Dropped it. First draw. Shoot. It was deflected high off the glass. It's gobbled up by Andy Bizzo. Bizzo turned it around, though, and it was picked up by Jakes. Rink wide pass, too far for Yo. He wanted the line change, and the Komets turned around. Murphy got behind the defense. Murphy right in! His shot wide. He went short side and missed it. Break for the Aeros as they turn it around. And what do we got? We've got Bizzo locked up with one of the Aeros, Conroy.
I don't know what that, they were just holding each other on the boards, and it, you know, it's so funny when you watch 2 players, they push and shove and punch each other in the face, and then when the ref comes over, it's like your mom or something. They both look up and say, "Who, me?"
If I got to stop this car again.
Yeah.
You know, guys, I am stunned. These 2 teams have seen each other now for 2 consecutive games. They know each other pretty well. I'm surprised we've not seen more altercations.
Well, it's a tight hockey game. That's part of it. I don't think you want to take that extra penalty that could, you know, possibly hinder you, just like the Aeros have right now. See, and there's the situation. Yeah. Conroy with 2 minutes. Now the Aeros are down 2 men, or down a man.
Third time I've seen them this year. I would think you'd have some rivalries going against each other.
You know, it's kind of funny. I don't understand how the Aeros got short on that one, as both of them were getting into it, but Conroy gets the roughing call.
Face off left side of Dobson.
Now I know why he said, "Who, me?" because he was the only one getting the call.
Huh. Terry Ruskowski's expression says it all. Jakes rolled it for Arneal. Got it to the line, not out. Laniel turns, gets it down. Tell you what, Mark Laniel has played some outstanding hockey. He has been really the only defenseman that I think really game in and game out has played well. But his last couple of games, he's really stood out in my mind. Puck comes back to the left side. It's chipped to the line. Evans, wide shooting. He hammered a bullet wide of the net. Dupuis, top of the right point rather, worked it down for Murphy, trying to center to Shafranov. It's knocked away, and the Aeros clear to the line. Not out. Held in. Evans takes the shot. Gives to Dupuis. He lets the shot go. And Dobson snatches that from the jaws of the twine, and he will hold on with 1:23 to go in the Conroy Minor. Under 5 to go in the third, and a 3-2 Comet lead.
Adam, I don't want to speak too soon, but the Aeros the Aeros have killed off every penalty. As you see, a nice 3D shot there as Dobson catches that one in all the way, and that's why he picked that one out of the air. But the Aeros were able to kill off 6 power plays from the Fort Wayne Komets so far tonight, and they're doing a pretty good job so far killing this one off. But it still goes to be said that the more time you spend killing penalties, that's the less time you can have your offense deep in the opposition zone. And you know what? The Aeros were starting to formulate a nice attack there, getting a few good chances. But, a penalty, it slows that down. And Terry, I'm sure, wants to get this penalty killed off and get some offense because there's only 5 minutes left in this game. That won't give him much time to tie this one up.
I don't know. Terry's got a
Terry's
nosebleed.
pretty easy going, isn't he?
Yeah, looks like he had a nosebleed there. Boy, that's a good shot.
One of those breathe rights is what he needs.
Face off to the left of Dobson. Willette against Lamb. Lamb won it. Hammered it near side, or farboards rather. It's out at center ice. DiPietro trying to turn it around out at neutral ice. Paul DiPietro, right side, hammered it into the Fort Wayne zone. Glove save made by Ing. Dropped it back. Kevin Wortman. 4:43 to go in the third, and a 3-2 Comet lead. 1:07 left in the Conroy Minor. Kevin Wortman streaking out the center ice. Pass too far for Darren Smith, and Jim Pack shot it back into the Fort Wayne zone. And Peter Ing was slow. So the penalty down to 55 seconds. That's going to leave the Aeros with about little over 3.5, probably about 3:40 to work with to try and tie this thing up. Pack turns it around, trying to find Yo down the left side. Watched by Straub. Yo shouldered him off. Yo looks for the pass in front. He's bumped off the puck, and Straub is there. Brian Straub with 38 on the power play. Sends it over to the far side for Kevin Wortman. He's pursued by Scott McCrory. And now it is Brian Straub. Sends one for Kevin Meehan. Meehan moving out at center ice. Lost the puck, but it's picked up by Wortman. And he'll hammer it into the Houston Aeros zone. Dobson slows behind the net. Donnelly had it tipped away. It came out in front. The shot was blocked. Jimmy Pack getting into it with Meehan. Battle behind the cage between Messier and Donnelly. Meehan's got it. 10 on the power play. Back to the line. Evans winding, shooting. Oh, it got through. Did it get to Dobson? No, rebound. Oh, and that was spanked just wide. Dobson was down, but that shot came wide, and the Aeros have killed off the power play. 3.5 to go. That's what remains as the Aeros are down a goal. Donnelly to Conroy. Not out. Held in. Meehan. Oh, a great glove save made by Dobson, and he'll hold on. 3-2, the Komets lead it when we return. The final 3:22 to play. We'll be back. 3:22 to go in the third period. Komets lead it 3-2. It's a nail-biter, folks. Boy, a win here could just set the Aeros up for a big weekend because they've got 3 games in 3 nights. Tomorrow in Milwaukee, a game that you can see on UPN 20 as well as here on KPRC. And then Sunday from the Target Center in Minneapolis is Wortman, a shot stuck aside by Dobson. And it's gobbled up by the Aeros. Can they get it out of there? Freer rolled it far side. Laniel. He'll move it up the boards. Mark Laniel bring it out at center ice. Pass too far for Slivchenko. Jumped on Freer. Freer brings it in. Freer dropped it. Here's Arneal. Fakes the shot. Centered. Here's the shot. Oh, it was fanned on by Freer. Fanned on by Mark Freer, and away the Komets come. They'll shoot it into the Aeros zone. Out of the net, Dobson leaves for Laniel. Laniel with a ton of ice tonight. It is Laniel at center. He will chip it into the Fort Wayne zone. It's Alex Nikolic. Chipped away, though, by Arneal. Nikolic got it back, and then Arneal hauled him down. Almost a penalty. Freer sends it hard around the boards for Arneal, waiting. Dobson still in the nets as the Aeros have 2:33 to work, but they're down a goal. Willett shoots it into the Aero end. Out of the net, Rob Dobson. And he'll slow for Mark Laniel. Laniel out at center ice for Lamb. He's bumped along the boards. They go skate to skate in there. And it's jumped on by the Komets. Kevin Meehan trying to get it behind. It's reversed by Valamont. And here is Mark Laniel. Laniel to center ice for Lamb. Shoots it in, and then Bizzo gave Lamb a bit of a shot, but play going on. Here come the Fort Wayne Komets. Here in the near side, Kevin Meehan run into by Turgeon. Get it out at center and into the arrow end. We're down to the final 2 minutes. 3-2 Fort Wayne. Lamb bumps it into the Fort Wayne zone. Ing will slow. It is Sean Evans away from Conroy. Pass from McBain. Give it back Evans. Out at center ice. Rolled it into the arrow end, but it was turned around by Pack. But they can't advance the puck, and it goes back into the arrow zone. It is Steve Jakes. Out at center for McCrory. Shoots it into the Fort Wayne zone. Out of the net, Ing. Chipped it near side. DiPietro trying to get it down. Here's DiPietro shooting. Ing stopped it. Rebound. And Ing stopped that. Loose puck. Wow, what a stop by Ing. I think he went far post on that. Now behind the cage, McCrory, as the net is empty. Aeros banging away at it, but it's hammered by Dupuis. Not out. Held in by Pack. Winding, shooting, block. Pack again. Trying to move it down. He's muscled by McBain. In there, McCrory, and we get a whistle as one of the Aeros on top of the puck with 58 seconds to go, and Peter Ing comes up again.
Peter Ing is just holding his team in there, and the Aeros with the extra attacker still couldn't get the goal. The puck was rolling around the post, and somehow Peter Ing dove across and was able to get his glove there, as he's still playing unbelievable. He's made a lot of great saves, especially in this period. And here you see it as the puck's right on the post, and Ing gets over there before it's able to be tucked in across the line. And Ing, a good scrambling goalie, gets to it quick.
Aeros call a 30-second timeout to try and talk things over. They've got the face-off deep in the Fort Wayne zone. Terry Ruskowski try to diagram something. 58 seconds to go.
Well, they've worked the puck well behind the opposition's net tonight, Adam, and they've scored one of their goals there as when they fed Conroy, and almost got another one right there off that when they had the extra man when they pulled the goalie. So you're probably going to see someone trying to work it down low and feed someone out in front, and they're going to probably try and put a lot of bodies in front as well.
Paul DiPietro comes out with Scott Arneal, Mark Lamb, Mark Freer, Mike Yeo, and Mark Laniel. So I guess you could say that they're trying to mark the net with Lamb, Freer, and Laniel.
Will there be enough time to make any switches? This is the last group of players out here?
Yeah, 58 seconds. Unless there's a whistle, they'll run all the way through.
Okay, face off to the right side of Peter Ing. Freer to take the draw against Paul Ouellette. Crowd trying to egg their troops on. Freer across from Willett. Sticks are down. Drop of the puck. Freer won it. Can the Aeros regroup? It's chipped away, though, and out at center ice. They had won the draw, but could not control it. Laniel back in his own zone. Got it out at center. Now Yoza got a chance. He was tripped up. No penalty. Crowd wanting one. Puck shot into the Aeros. It is Laniel. Missed his pass to DiPietro. And it's shot out at center ice. Aeros down to 38 seconds. Arneal fighting for it. Lamb in there. They continue to go at it. And Arneal trying to come away with a puck. Good battle. Lamb in there. And it came away to Murphy toward the empty net. Just fired it wide. 25 seconds, enough for a rush. Yo to Freer. Center ice across. Arneal gives to DiPietro, though. Shoots! And it was deflected away. Willett chipped it to the line. Not out. Down for Freer. 15 to go. Puck centered. Here's the shot. Whipped just wide by DiPietro. Now into the corner. Freer muscled along the boards. 7 seconds left. Good finish. Puck came out in front. Here's the chance. Lamb shooting. Stop. Puck to the line. Laniel. He shoots. It's deflected, and the hockey game is over. And the Fort Wayne Komets have defeated the Houston Aeros by a score of 3-2.
Adam, the Aeros just couldn't get that puck through, and a couple good chances, but you got to get that shot on net, and you got to get that pressure right in front. The Aeros couldn't connect with the last minute of play there with that extra attacker. Peter Ing holds him off, as well as the rest of the Fort Wayne players, and Dave Farish finds himself with another win.
And their hockey team has now won 5 in a row, but Matt, it's got to be disheartening for the Aeros. They have lost 3 in a row, and this time it's sort of like so close but yet so far.
It's been that way the entire season for the Aeros, quite honestly. And things are going to get easier, Adam. They got to put this game behind them because they've got 2 crucial road games coming up this weekend with Milwaukee and Minnesota on consecutive nights. So long plane ride, yes, but it gives them an opportunity to get their minds fresh and get them ready for the next opponent, which is just 24 hours away.
All right. Matt, I want to thank you very much for spending time with us tonight.
Guys, it's been a big pleasure, and I've enjoyed it immensely, and I look forward to seeing you guys again. Look forward to hearing you on Prime Sports and on AM 950 KPRC.
All right, that's Matt Thomas. Of course, you can hear Matt along with Darren Jones tomorrow on KPRC on Sports Page Saturday. Thanks for joining us. 3-2 the final. The Komets defeat the Houston Aeros, and we'll have more after this. Welcome back to Houston. The Aeros lose to the Fort Wayne Komets by a score of 3-2, and the Aeros are now 5-12 on the year. And tough break for the boys tonight. They played well.
They played well again, but they played great in the first period. They dominated. But then in the second period, they got in a little bit of penalty trouble. And when you get into penalty trouble, it's called timing. You don't have any of it left to get an offensive charge to go down to the other end. And I think a couple times in between those penalty kills, they did get some pressure, but it just wasn't continuous.
All right. Peter Ing is standing by. Peter, first of all, congratulations. Nice win tonight.
Thank you.
All right. Peter, this team's now rattled off 5 in a row. I mean, what do you attribute these 5 wins in a row to?
We've been really working hard, a lot of dedication, a lot of camaraderie in our room right now, and I think that really shown on the ice. We're not one man going towards a puck. We're not one man into a fight. We're 5 guys, and that's the kind of play we have to do to win, and we're doing it right now.
Inger, you played in Las Vegas, and that actually is, from what I understand, your hometown of sorts. Have you found a home in Fort Wayne now?
Yeah, fans have been really good to me in Fort Wayne. I've been real fortunate that way. The owners have been really nice to me, and they really, that's why I'm back here this year. And I just think it's been a real positive situation so far, and if we keep winning like this, it's going to be a great year.
Last year, the makeup of this Houston Aero Hockey Club was based on work ethic. If this team got down, it was never out. It always came back. This is 3 times now I've seen this hockey club, the Fort Wayne Komets. That seems like that's your big makeup. You guys really work hard and never give up.
Yeah, we certainly do. That's been the key to this team. That's been how they've won in the past, and that's the only way we're going to win. Sometimes they say talk about talent and stuff in other teams in the league. So many teams have a lot of NHL experience. We have some in our room, but we definitely make up for it in our work ethic and come into play. And when we do, it pays off, and it's nice to see it paying off.
This is the 3rd time you faced the Houston Aeros. Are you surprised by just the struggles that this team is going through right now?
Yeah, I am. They got quite a team on paper, that's for sure. They have a lot of scores, a lot of guys that have played in the NHL, and a lot of guys that have played in the NHL for a long time. So I'm sure it's probably just a matter of time for them.
Inger, you have a unique style, and that is you butterfly and you cover the lower part of the net very well. It is unique to yourself, but I'm saying, did you ever, look at another goalie in the NHL, let's say, and say, that's who I want to play like?
Well, I like to look at a lot of guys. I've seen a lot of things in different goalies. Not one that I've really stuck exactly to, but a lot of guys that have done things that I liked, and just trying to incorporate them. They've been helping you out here. Dave Pryor came in and helped out for a week, and that's a tribute to it.
Peter, thank you so much for joining us, and again, congratulations. Nice win. 5 in a row for you guys.
Super, thank you.
All right, Peter Ing, the winning goaltender tonight. Outstanding job. He leads his Fort Wayne Komets to a 3-2 win. When Mike and I return, we wrap things up. Don't go away. Aeros have lost 3 in a row as they fall to the Fort Wayne Komets tonight by a score of 3-2. Welcome back to the Summit. Adam Gordon along with Mike Greenlay. And let's jump right to our Gatorade play of the game. And this was a big-time pivotal point for the Aeros.
Well, it certainly was. It was a great save by Troy Gamble, but it wasn't the save that was really big. It was the fact that after the save, he gets a knee to the head, and that got him. He stayed for a couple minutes, but he was out of the game after that.
And it takes us to what is eventually the game-winning goal, Paul Ouellette.
And you know what? As a goaltender, you never want to give up this kind of goal, especially when it ends up being the game winner. But Dobson didn't get his stick over there in time, and Ouellette made a good move there, tucking it inside the far post.
Now, I don't know. Have you ever had your bell rung like Troy has? I mean, what's his status?
Well, I've never been knocked out, thank God. And I tell you what, I've talked to people that have. Troy Gamble wasn't really knocked out. He might have had, like he said to the trainer, he said, I'm a little hazy.
and I think he'll be fine with a good night's sleep and everything. But you'll probably see Dobson tomorrow night, because it's something that it's a little bit mental too afterwards, because you say, yeah, I got my bell rung, I don't want to get in there and get it rung again.
All right, it's time for our Texaco star of the game, and tonight it is Mark Laniel. I don't have the final numbers, but he had 30 minutes of ice after 2 periods. He logged a ton of ice tonight. He leads the team with 9 assists, and although didn't get a point tonight, as far as I'm concerned right now, he's the best defenseman out there.
Oh, without a doubt, he's been the best defenseman this season, and they just look for him to get stronger, because when a guy like that's logging a lot of ice, they're putting a lot into that player.
All right, and that means, for the Houston Aeros, I guess they've got to find what's wrong. I mean, we've talked about this all year, and it seems like every little bit goes. Tonight, I thought discipline played a big factor. Aeros led 2-1 after 1, and then really some costly penalties in the second and third period hurt them.
And it did, because it just cut their momentum, and every time they tried to get the momentum back, when they did, they'd get hit with another penalty and have to go back on the penalty kill. All
right, let's take a look at the final totals. The final stats are brought to you by your local Dodge dealer. And the Aeros outshoot. I mean, I can't remember the last time the Aeros were outshot. It's unbelievable. They outshoot the Fort Wayne Komets 37-25. 1 of 8 on the power play. That still isn't going to get it done, though. 0 for 7 on the power play. Penalty killing was outstanding for the Houston Aeros tonight. They won 41 face-offs, 28-1 for the Fort Wayne Komets. Aeros 9 penalties for 21 minutes, 10 penalties for 23 minutes for the Fort Wayne Komets. But it's still not enough for the Houston Aeros as they go down by a score of 3-2. And let's preview quickly tomorrow's game. The Aeros taking on the Milwaukee Admirals, a team we have not seen, but I'll tell you what, the Admirals are led by one of the top flying forwards in Tony Herkus.
And Herkus, I mean, there's a name that jumps right out at you. He used to play with the St. Louis Blues, and he's played for Milwaukee the last few years. This guy's a goal scorer, a point getter, and a playmaker, and he's just one of their guys that they're going to have to watch.
And oh, by the way, I'm thinking of yes, Gino Cavallini.
Of course, and you have that kind of lineup coming at you, and especially when you're going on the road to someone else's building. Milwaukee is the type of team that makes you pay for mistakes in their own building.
All right, now for the Houston Aeros, I guess they look at things, they'll look at game tape. They board an early flight tomorrow. They will play in Milwaukee on Saturday night, and then it's the Target Center. And right now, we've talked about how pivotal this weekend is, so forget about what's happened so far. The Aeros have the 1 loss. They've got 2 games here to try and come back and win. 2 teams that they can definitely beat, the Milwaukee Admirals and a Minnesota Moose Hockey Club, who they've had their way with in the past. We'll see how they fare against the Minnesota Moose on Sunday. Greener, thanks for your help tonight.
Thank you.
All right, from Mike Greenlay and Matt Thomas, this is Adam Gordon reminding you the next game will be tomorrow night from the Bradley Center in Milwaukee as the Aeros take on the Milwaukee Admirals. You can catch the game right on UPN 20 and on KPRC Radio. Our next Prime Sports game will be Wednesday night at 7 o'clock when Houston hosts the Orlando Solar Bears. Once again, tonight's final score, the Houston Aeros fall to the Fort Wayne Komets 3-2. For Mike Greenlay and Matt Thomas, this is Adam Gordon saying good night from the Summit.